I feel like that sometimes. Like, damn it.
So
Yeah,
it is, yeah, yeah. I'll
just
be still.
we'll be here. Oh, I, c- I can't wait. What? Hey, hey. I
I
can't
actually
help
pushed
it.
the wrong button. God damn
I'll be quiet this week.
it. It doesn't matter. I always just do it as a point of reference.
As he pushes the right button to the wrong one.
Yeah. This
Oh,
one.
end stream. Oh crap! Start stream.
Start stream, end stream, certainly. Have you?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bits and Pieces podcast, episode 32. And I'm trying not to look at my co-host right now whilst he's giggling to himself. For those who are listening, welcome into the Bits and Pieces podcast. Over on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, or anywhere that has an RSS feed. Currently running on RSS feeds, anywhere that you get your podcast from. Otherwise, welcome into the live viewers. Thank you for joining us today on this Saturday evening. How are you both doing? How are you doing, Freddie? How are you doing, Beth?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
How's
I'm
you?
good. I'm good. I'm excited for the topics of this evening.
The topics.
Yes.
Some juicy ones.
Oh, we've
today.
got some
Very-
juicy
very
ones
juicy ones,
today.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have got some very juicy ones. As always on the Bits and Pieces podcast, we like to do what we call a spotlight, where we look at a game we've just recently been playing, or something maybe that we've played a little while ago. Maybe it wasn't available when the podcast is quite young, actually. So, but like we've in the past we've spoken about, I think, like Splinter Cell, and then obviously Splinter Cell came out a few years ago. So that's things like that. That's what we like to talk about with along those sort of lines, or something more recent like V Rising, as an example of what we have been playing. So yeah, we're gonna do a spotlight, and then we look at is what I meant to say. Some gaming news, if there is any, of course, because we know that this time of year it's been rather quiet on the news front in terms of what's out there. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and as always, we always like to end the show with Beth's joke of the week. Or if you missed it last week, we had a dad joke from Freddie.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Sort of coming
was
with
it
his own
good?
little sick.
Was it as good as mine?
It was at least 5 tumbleweeds.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in ratings,
what's mine?
yeah. Your
what's
one
mine normally?
about 3.5.
How many tumbleweeds? 3.5. Okay, it's less tumbleweeds good or more tumbleweeds?
Well, I suppose depend. That's a good way of looking at it, isn't it? The more tumbleweeds you've got, the more quieter it is. So maybe you want to have a 1. Oh, in that case, then Freddie was a 2, and yours was probably a 4.
I didn't hear
know.
this joke. I'm gonna say four tumbleweeds for Freddie, 0 tumbleweeds for me. There you go.
I love how we're now rating things
Tumbleweed style.
tumbleweed style. Yeah, that's great.
I'll rate my games out of tumbleweeds now.
So Beth,
no,
yeah. So Beth, you're going to talk about the new Phasmo update. We've been talking about the Phasmo in the last couple of episodes. Actually, in the last few episodes, we've been talking about all of the new updates. That Beth, you're going to be talking about that.
Yes.
I'm going to be talking about Conrad Stevens' PI. I'm going to be spotlighting that. And Freddie, what you got for us this week? You're going to be talking about the Quarry.
The Quarry, yeah, non-spoiler early impressions of
spoiler
Quarry.
Spoiler free.
Yeah,
that's what we like.
Maybe a light spoilers, because they spoiled quite a bit in the trailer anyway. So
okay, so it's
light spoilers, no spoilers ish.
It's
I'll try to keep it spoiler free. There we go. I'll try.
Yeah, spoiler free. But it is, a as far as the trailer is concerned. So people would have seen something in the trailer anyway, and that sort of gives away not much.
Yeah, it does a bit actually if you pay attention.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh well. Well, let's get into that in a second. Do you want to go first on this one, or should I? Because I know Beth hasn't got a spotlight at the moment, so.
Yeah, mine might be long, so I'll do mine quickly, and then we get into your one.
So let's go with Freddy's The Quarry. Let's have a look at that then.
The Quarry. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes. So, obviously, we're big horror fans here on the Bits and Pieces podcast. We play tons of horror games. I think Steve, you've played Until Dawn, haven't you?
I have indeed, yes.
Yeah, Beth, have you played Until Dawn? Right,
I have.
So we're familiar with Supermassive Games. They're the guys behind Until Dawn, and they made they are making the dark anthology, which is the Man of Medan, Little Hope, and recently the House of Ashes, which I've played extensively, and I've played Until Dawn religiously since it came out in 2015, and I've played it every year, every Halloween as my Halloween go-to as a game. Now, The Quarry is a spiritual successor and improved upon Until Dawn experience. The game is a very horror trope infested movie style horror breeze, which is basically if you remember Friday the 13th, it's the camp. What was it? I can't remember what horror film has the camp in it, where they go to the camp and they all get murdered.
Friday the 13th, isn't it?
It's Friday the 13th, isn't it?
Crystal Lake Camp.
Crystal Lake Cape, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the Hackett camp, or sorry, it's Hackett Lake or Lake Hackett, something like that. It's called. I actually can't remember the name. Hackett something. So I observant I am in these games, these names. And you go to this campsite. It's a teenage horror interaction game. It's a lot of features in the game itself, but I'll get to that very quickly. So to summarize, it's a monster flick. It's a monster game. It's very heavy on the gore this time, much gorier than Until Dawn. There's more adult themes in Until Dawn as well, so they've gone all in on the old 18 plus horror trope, where the group of naive kids get stuck at a camp during a hunting season, where they are caught in the crossfire of a monster hunt. But basically, the guys in the trailer is that they show Lance Henriksen and a few other big burly guys in overalls. They're the hunters, and the teams are basically they're stuck at the camp through various plot means which you can choose, because it's a choose your own adventure type deal. More so than Until Dawn, there's a lot more choices in this game. Until Dawn had limited choices, really, in comparison to this game. This game has 186 different endings. It has multiple paths that don't always arrive at the same part. I think there's 10 characters you can keep alive or kill, and you also can decide the fate of the bad guys as well, which is a unique thing in this one. The game is roughly 7 to 10 hours long, depending on how well you play, with obviously multiple playthroughs. So you're looking at 80 to 100 hours plus if you want to achievement hunt and get most of the endings. The game follows like I said, group of teenagers. It starts off with two teens in the car driving through a creepy forest. Something happens. They end up in the forest. And obviously the female decides to leave her fella and go exploring in the forest. Creepy stuff happens. They run back to the car, clearly freaked out, and then this police officer pulls them out of the pit, so to speak, they were stuck in, and then decides to give them directions to the nearest hotel. But they don't listen, and they go to the quarry. They go to the Hackett camp. I need to find there's no one there. And for some bizarre reason, the female decides to go to the locked basement and open the basement. And you can imagine what happens from there. I'm not going to give too much away outside of the intro. You can pick your own what happens there as well. And then it jumps forward a little bit. The actual time frame between the events of the intro and the start of the game is 2 months. That's not explained very well. I had to look that up, how far away it is. I thought it was in the past, but it's not. So it's all the recent timeline. So it's all in modern day era. digital phones and social media and all that stuff, which they do reference and go into later on in the other chapters. It's quite funny actually, the Mickey taking of the social media aspects in chapter 4. I won't give too much away. But it wraps up very quickly. It's not like Until Dawn. Until Dawn takes up to chapter 4 to get going with the scares and the monster stuff. This chapter 2, it kicks off. Right, the end, halfway through chapter 2, I thought it was a slow game. It's not. It's not. It's not. The intro and the first couple of hours are very important, because it sets up all the characters, and obviously they have to do that before anything happens to make you care about them. And I initially thought most of these plebs were disposable twits, right? I just thought they're all teenagers, they're all idiots, they're all making dumb decisions. They're going against anything that's actually sensible. That you tell them to do it sensible. It's like with my kids. You tell them to do something, they do the opposite, right? Any kid, tell them to do something, they're like, no, we're gonna sod you, I'm gonna rebel and do what I want. This is the game of that, basically, right? If you're trying to tell them what to do, they're like, but even sometimes when you've tried to save them, and they go and do the stupid thing anyway. And I'm just like, I'm like screaming at the screen, going, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
So it's very sort of fourth wall breaking, such a thing that the game will be like, well, you may want to save this person, but we are not going to. So I will give a slight spoiler that as the game is wired to kill off. If you don't make the right decisions, will kill off 3 main characters for you if you make a couple of mistakes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
the game will force you to go through 3 deaths of random characters, and this is randomized every time you boot up the game. And if you don't make the right decisions, that happens basically. So to get the perfect ending, you've got to make every perfect choice. Like every decision has to be the right one. Now that's the gameplay section out of the way. I'm not going to go into more into the gameplay because you need to play it for yourself. It's $31.99 on CD keys on the PC, the code, or it's £54 for the Xbox version, the digital purchase. They don't have a PlayStation version. Everywhere else, it's £64.99 on the other platforms, and Steam is £55. So there's
Okay.
quite a difference in pricing in there. So I would recommend picking it up through CD keys. Not that I'm a sponsor or anything, but pick it up through CD keys, and that's the best way to go. Now it's definitely one of the best horror games I've played. Again, do I rate it as high as Until Dawn? I haven't completed it yet, so I can't say. However, it is leaning towards being probably the best supermassive game I have played out of all of them, and I've played all of them. So I would strongly suggest you pick this up. Now, if you don't want to play through the game, you don't want to make any decision, there's a movie mode. You can literally set it as a movie and watch the movie. So there's 3 options it gives you. Everybody lives ending, everybody dies ending, and then it gives you the director's chair where you direct the course of what's happening. It's like the gameplay with none of the gameplay.
Oh wow!
So it cuts out all of the gameplay elements and goes straight to the cutscenes, all the scenes that you have to make a choice, and then as a director, you get to you can literally preview what's going to happen. So obviously, I highly recommend you do that mode after you've completed it a couple of times because it will spoil the game massively, as I found out, because experimenting with it for a couple of hours. I was like, oh crap, I've gone past the point I am in the game myself now. I better go back to the other game. So yeah, be warned that you will spoil yourself if you do that mode. It has local co-op, up to 8-player couch co-op.
Wow. 8
It,
players.
yeah, and there is an online co-op mode, 2-player co-op mode, coming out on the 8th of July, which will definitely be playing whoever owns that. I know Steve's got a copy of it. I know Alex has got a copy of it. There's an expense, if you're wondering who's a friend of ours. And I'm sure we'll play it at some point in the future, and I'm sure Beth might pick it up at some point as well. So you'll look forward to that on our streams, coming along and joining in for that. So we'll definitely will be playing it. As always, with super massive games, co-op has a different experience. It has a completely new mechanic, which I'm not going to spoil, but it has a completely new way of interacting with each other and how the story flows, which is a very unique and a very cool thing, I might add. And it's not something Supermassive had done before. and I can't wait to try it out because it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna mess with us so much. You're not gonna believe how
Oh,
bad it's gonna be. But early impression is the game is amazing. I'm about 5 hours into the game. So I'm not practically halfway through the first playthrough. It's an amazing game. Honestly, very, very good game. Highly recommend you pick it up if you're a horror fan and you like choice-based interactive video movie games. There is some gameplay elements, but there isn't that much really. It's more like Detroit Becomes Human in terms of the gameplay
Yeah.
aspect, where you walk around, investigate, find stuff, and then you have your the quick time events, which are a lot harder in this one, and there's no difficulty setting either. So you either fail or you win. And even I failed a couple because it took me by surprise, and I don't usually fail these Q2Es, so I'm quite happy that it's quite hard. So it doesn't make it easy to keep these idiots alive. That's the only way I can describe
yeah.
the people in this game. Is so the lights are on, but no one's home. You know, it's typical horror, bloody brain dead protagonists. Let's do everything we shouldn't do. But these sort of games, these sort of things are fun because you place your bets on who's going to die first, and that is in your hands. So yeah, top game. Recommend it 100%. And yeah, I think sure I kept that fairly spoiler free. So yeah, that's I highly recommend. You got the 3D seal of approval.
I
Go
will
and play
say
that game.
that I've not watched a lot of the story of it, but for example, I was watching Expense, Alex, our good friend, um, and he was getting really angry with all the characters, and I feel like everyone just hates the characters in like this game. Like all the characters are just a-holes. so so I love that. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say actually because I was sort of multitasking last night. I was basically trying to watch Beth's stream, your stream, and Alex's stream at the same time. I even joined Beth for a game of Phasmo whilst just prior to Freddy streaming anyway. And it was interesting to see that how far ahead you were, but on both. But like you said, there's so many choices in that. So I can see from the game obviously it is that same sort of has all the same similar sort of horror tropes, and it follows that same sort of Until Dawn thing where you choice matters kind of things. So yeah, it's interesting to see both of you playing a different game with us at the same time. I was sort of like watching Beth play Phasmo, so I had two games actually going at the same time, and I even played whilst doing that. So really multitasking
That's
is
why
what
that happened.
that's why that happened.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. I did jump scare Beth as well. So and I
Oh,
managed. And
not
I was
no, not
even
that.
sending
that.
clips. Oh, not that.
You know the good old candle accident where
Oh.
you burnt.
Okay, so I must confess, right? So just getting off it slightly, but I lit the candles in the van, and I set alight the smudge sticks at the same time.
Yeah,
So we had no
like
smudge
2 of
sticks to
them.
use for our defense. So,
It was really weird because like
but
you
that was
burnt
because
the
of
2 middle ones in the
yeah.
middle. Like how is that possible? And then
Well, there you go. Anyway,
Anyway,
the Quarry.
we're good. That was funny. Yeah, sorry, the Quarry.
The Quarry. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun.
I'm gonna pick it
good.
up. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pick it up.
I even whilst watching, I think towards the end of Alex's stream, I switched over again. I was in between the two, and whilst watching Freddy's stream, I even downloaded the Quarry myself. So yeah, I was quite busy last night doing nothing. But yeah, switching between my buddies and that. So yeah, watching everyone's streams. Yeah, that's my Friday night, people.
Yeah, Friday night.
I just want to say one more thing about the Quarry. Sorry, Beth, just before we move on.
Go on.
Is that it's not very well optimized for PC. If you did watch the stream last night, you would know I was banging my head against a brick wall trying to get the bloody thing to work. good news is I've sorted it. It works now. But I had to go through some technical help forums to get the game to run. Alex had some issues as well with it towards the end of his stream. It's a very resource-heavy game. I wouldn't recommend buying the game unless you meet the maximum requirements, not the minimum. Do not buy the game if you just actually scrape past the minimum requirements because your computer won't run it. As always, it's a very bad console port. I'm sure it'll be fixed, which is why I didn't mention it at the first. I didn't want to put people off the game. If you've got basically anything above a 2080, you'll be fine.
All right.
So anyone that has like a 2070 like me will have some performance issues and will have to turn down the graphics and the resolution. And there's some other things that needs to be done. If you want to know, DM me on Twitter or Discord, and I'll tell you how to sort it if you are having problems with the game. It's quite easy to sort out, but until they patch it, it will stutter. You will get some frame tearing. You will get some slowdown. The game will load slowly, and there will be some interference with the QuickTime events as well if the game isn't loaded up or running smoothly. So they will fix it, I'm no doubt. Then there'll also be a driver update at some point for the Quarry as well. But my advice is to run it in 720p medium settings. It still looks amazing, even on those settings, until it's optimized. If you're having problems, that's it. I wanted just to throw that in there, just for those that probably are having some issues with the game, because I know it's been spoken about on Reddit and seen, and they are looking into it. So worry not, fellow Quarians. We will we will have it fixed.
Quarians, I love that. Mate, you guys have your own nickname. The Quarian.
I'm a Quarian, yeah. Maybe I'm a Klingon. I'm a Quarian.
Hi, Quarry on. Anyway.
Quarian.
Quarian.
Oh dear.
Right,
No, I must admit, I after watching both, like I said, watching both streams, and I can see, yeah, it does look really good graphically. Yeah, apart from those issues aside, it looks really stunning actually. And if it was more optimized, obviously you could see that it would be a bit more smoother. You could definitely tell that it's from the same pit as Until Dawn.
Yeah, definitely.
And looking how that was 2014. So
that's crazy. Like, it still looks great,
and it still looks good. Yeah. So
that's awesome. I love the graphics and so realistic, hyper realistic.
Do you want to hear a little rumor?
Go on.
They might be making an Until Dawn remake for the PS5.
Oh, interesting.
Interesting indeed.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That was a good. That's always a good go-to horror game. Like you said, I think you mentioned it yourself when you play it, sort of every Halloween. But yeah, I've done it a couple of times as well myself. But I think this could be my next go-to Halloween game. I think I haven't played it yet, but I've seen it, and I'm very eager to jump into that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to a day where I can actually have a go. So yeah, but if we're done on that, should we move on?
Yep.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the game I've chosen this week to talk about is Conrad Stevens' Paranormal PI. For those who might not be familiar, I tend to look at paranormal investigation games, i.e. Phasmophobia being one of the first sort of games where you're investigating a haunted location. Now, this is very much different in terms of it's like the way that this plays out. It's almost similar to what you've seen before. Like, you've got the typical sort of like tools that you have with you, EMF, you've got temperature probes, you've got audio recording equipment, and you've got like cameras and stuff that you can take pictures or film certain events. But where this sets itself apart is that it's a first person, it's still first person ghost hunting simulator. So it's more of a simulator than an actual you are there to investigate. You are there to try and look at the goings on of paranormal activity, and you're there, the game takes quite a long time to get into anything. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's more based on the realism of what ghost hunting people do in the real world. You've probably seen a lot of like people on YouTube doing those sort of games, but yeah, this is more of a realistic look rather than the actual determination of what the ghost is and deciding whether or not it's a poltergeist, for instance, which of course there is that in the game. So yeah, so you start off in an office as Conrad Stevens. You get told that there's a ghost that you need to go and there's a paranormal activity that you need to go and investigate. So from your office, you'll go to the map area and you'll click on the map. Now on the map, currently it is still in early access and it's still quite of a new game. The developers have said that they really are trying to flesh it out a lot more before they give it full access. But what's out there at the moment? There are currently, I think, 5 or 6 investigations. So you are limited, but the locations are limited. But they become more. The more successful you are as a paranormal investigator, you will be invited to new locations. There are plans to have. I think there's about 15 different locations, and in each location will have a ghost which will randomly spawn a different type of ghost, and each ghost has its unique behaviors which can vary your approach to go in when you investigate it. So for instance, like I said, there is a poltergeist, so you need to prepare yourself for that. Poltergeist, naturally, obviously it's the German word for naughty ghost. For those
naughty ghost.
naughty ghost. That's
Naughty.
naughty.
What a
yeah.
time to join.
Or noisy ghost. I think it's actually the correct term.
Oh, it's not.
Noisy, not
it's
naughty.
not naughty.
Noisy ghost. Noisy spirit.
Oh, noisy ghost. All
noisy
right.
spirit. That's what it's actually. That's what
Noisy
they're actually called.
spirit.
So yeah, they actually bit of a nuisance. To get anywhere in this game, you need to do certain tasks. The first sort of task that you want to do is your baseline, so your EMFs, your temperature sort of readings. So you get your EMF 5s. What I like about this game is it's in terms of like using the EMF, which is obviously electromagnetic field. It will pick up on things like light switches. You'll get a 2 bar on the EMF. For those who are not familiar, the EMF is obviously the handheld device which has usually 5 lights and of different colors like red, orange, green. The yellow. I think there's sort of like 5 different lights that you can that will light up, and depending on the severity of the whatever it is, it will light up either 3, 4, or 5. So, like for instance, if you go near like the electrical cupboard, you'll get a 5, which is natural. Of course, you will get a 5. So that's what I like about this. It'll pick up the refrigerator as well as an electronic device. TVs will give off electronic emit electronic waves, so that the EMF will pick up those. So as an investigator, you want to try and find unusual EMF spikes. So like the 5s that are nowhere near electronic devices. Also, the temperature drops. You want to look out for that. You want to use the thermometer a lot differently than you do in any other of the investigation games that are out there, so that you have massive notable drops in temperatures. So if it's a cold spot, you want to focus on that. Now, what I'm aware of in certain American houses particularly is that they don't really have sort of central heating as such. They have vents in like floors and ceilings, and if you're using the thermometer to check out the certain areas, certain of the house, you want to be careful that if you go closer to the window, you're going to pick up from the outside world. Also, you'll go towards any of those air vents. You'll also pick up those sort of temperatures as well. So you're looking for, in specific places, certain cold spots that are not near a window or near an air vent, which is giving off like cold air. Usually, like in the maps, they either, I think it's the aircon comes on or the heating comes on, and that will, and then after a certain time it shuts off, and that's usually the good time to actually explore the house much better. So once you get a cold spot, Conrad, he'll start making a note, and you have like a notebook, pretty much similar to what I got here, like lined paper, and that'll pop up on screen, and that you press like tab. I think that brings up all the information, and so the information that you're looking for is obviously EMF, temperature, audio, and photographic evidence. And once you've got enough of those types of evidences, you can then determine what type of ghost it is. And there are currently 4 types of ghosts. There are residual ghosts. Residual ghosts are spirits who act out a moment of their previous lives, unaware of their surroundings. So they'll just carry on walking through the house as normal, as if you're not even there. They don't even notice you as such. Then there's the intelligent ghosts. They are named so because they have the capacity to communicate and interact with the living. So, like, for instance, there is one particular ghost in the game that you'll encounter called the screaming ghost. And I can tell you, that is quite terrifying. In that scream that you'll get through that, I know I'm not to give out too many spoilers, but like, it is one of the very first ghosts that you have to interact with. I played it through on the stream, and obviously as a streamer I've got sound alerts and stuff like that, so naturally people were coming in and like using those sound alerts to great effect, as always, and I'm proper crapping myself as I'm playing the game. There is no initial danger to you as a player. Again, like I said, this is more of a simulation than it is, say, Phasmophobia is more of a fun way of playing hide and seek. This will not affect you in so much as it's more, the jump scares are more of a natural occurrence rather than anything else. Some ghosts will, like I said, there was a poltergeist which will obviously throw things. There's this screamer right at the start of the game which you'll try and investigate, and it will scream quite loudly towards you, and that's what's going to make you jump. Obviously, seeing the apparitions of the ghosts is going to make you sort of be a bit startled as well. So there are more natural sort of jump scares rather than just there for the sake of like scariness. Turning on lights, shutting doors, those kind of things will happen to you as you're playing through. Again, obviously we've covered the poltergeist, quite, the noisy spirit. We'll obviously throw things, and the 4th ghost are demons. Demons, obviously, they're an evil ghost who have the capable of terrible things, and they feed upon the fear, and they pretty much prey on others. I've not encountered a demon yet, so I've yet to experience what they're like, but like I said, I think there are, I made notes of these, so I think there's probably about 7 missions currently at the moment. 7 or 8 missions. You'll play at Evergreen, I think it's like Evergreen Terrace or something like that, I don't know, although it's probably like Simpsons or something, but you got the Springfield. Is that Springfield? I can't remember. Was it or was Evergreen Terrace like Family Guy? Was it? I don't know. It's one of those names that just sort of like occurs now and again in sort of American TV, isn't it? It's like the most. It's the most obvious sort of go-to names, isn't it? Sometimes, if you can't think of a name, just borrow from somewhere else. So exactly. You've got occasionally you'll go to the same location 3 or 4 times before moving on to a different location. Like I said, the game is still in early access, so their developers are still trying to flesh it out a bit. They're still trying to create new surroundings and stuff. There are, I think 12 or 15 maps. Like there's a police station, there's a couple of schools, there's obviously houses in there, there's a lighthouse. Obviously this one is in the game and it's not like Phasmo when it was a joke. But there is a lighthouse to come along later on. At the moment, like I said, you can only play 2 locations. It is still very early. But yeah, I'm liking it from what I've played so far. There are I think 4 awards, depending on how successful you are. Now, to get the gold award, you need to spend a lot of time in that location. You need to be able to pick up, I think, 3 of every type of so you need to get at least 3 types of EMF, 3 types of Conrad must mention temperatures at least twice. Audio, there's certain, now with the audio, it's obviously a pocket recorder. You can't leave that on record all the time. It is trying to treat the situation as a real situation, like a ghost hunting scenario. So you'll hear something, you've got to quickly press record and pick that up, and then Conrad will comment on whether that's a good audio or not. And he'll say something along the lines, "Oh, that's a good audio. I'll make a note of it in my notebook." And sure enough, you push tab, and down comes a list of all of the evidences that you have collected. And there's obviously photo, so video as well as photos. You've obviously got the night vision there as well. So yeah, very similar towards a lot of the other games that we've seen, but again, it is more of a simulator, and you do. I think it was mentioned that to complete one mission, you want to be just under an hour, which sounds quite long, and it is quite long if you're not prepared to play that sort of for that length of time, just to discover what type of ghost it is. But you are there as an investigator, and I think it's aimed more at a real life situation, more so than any other ghost hunting type game that's out there. As I said before, but yeah, I think it's really good. I'm looking forward to seeing more from this developers. I just trying to remember the name of the developers now. It's D&A Studios. Obviously, and then yeah, it's still early access. Exploration, immersive sim and horror type. I think the horror is more sort of psychological rather than actual like right in your face, sort of like blood curdling, sort of like, you know, as you'd expect in most other games of horror of this sort of like type game. It does get very positive reviews on Steam. It is available, I think, only on Steam. You might be able to pick it up on maybe CD Keys, but you know, at the moment, I don't think there's any plans for it to go on console, but that could change. Who knows? I've put in quite a lot of time in this. I do like to see. Hopefully, they're going to change this where they actually like start releasing more and more content, because they have updated it just recently. I think I say just recently. I think they did a patch note on the 25th of May was the last time they did a patch note. It first came out, the screen size of the camera was really small, and if you was watching that on, say, a mobile device, if you was watching someone's Twitch playthrough on the mobile device, you'd find it very difficult to see. So they have increased that. It's very good. It's only £6.19. It's just very cheap at the moment. Like for any game that you buy on Steam, anything that's like that price, usually it's never received very well. But this actually, thankfully, has actually got a lot of good reviews on it. But I'm enjoying it. I hope people will give it a go and respect it for what it is. It isn't a game as such. It is a simulator. So take that on board when if you are going to look at purchasing this. It's definitely a lot different, and it is a single player as well. When they've emphasised the fact that they want to concentrate on it being more of an single player experience rather than a four player co-op, as many others have been so far. So yeah, there we go. That's my little spotlight for this week. There's not much else I can add to that, but it's Conrad Stevenson's Paranormal PI. It's out there to give a go. Try it out.
Indeed.
I don't know if anyone else has got any thoughts on that.
I do wish it was co-op, but I guess because it's solo, that makes it a bit more immersive in a way. But yeah, I think it's a good competitor with the other ghost hunting games. Because all the other ghost hunting games we've been playing are all being co-op, like
Yeah.
like all of them. So we haven't had a solo
No,
experience
no,
like
no.
that.
I mean, I
So
thought that initially. I thought that as well when I started playing it, but now you start to realize actually it's a very slow burn as well. Like I said, and to get a gold trophy, you're gonna spend a long time doing nothing, and then it starts to the beat really starts to kick in towards the later part of the investigation where once one thing happens, lots of things happen, and then it's like, oh, okay, I waited around for ages for nothing to happen, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get loads of stuff, and it's very, I like again, I'm kind of enjoying it. It's different. It's a different approach towards those ghost hunting things. So yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing a co-op because I think it actually helps.
yeah, it makes it more immersive.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
More
yeah.
spooky.
Spooky.
There's a massive gap in the market for single player
That is true. Yeah.
investigation games. I actually I watched Steve play this game, so I haven't played it myself. I haven't watched any more of it than the first hour and a half I watched Steve play it, and that was before a few patches and stuff a little while ago.
Yeah.
It does look really good. As I say, it's a £6.19, and it's going to be constantly improved. It's definitely worth picking up if you like ghost investigation games or anything with ghosting. What the game I want to see happen is an actual realistic ghost investigation game with real life locations and an emphasis on spooky atmosphere, not monster like jump scary, but you see the monster stalking you around the corner, like you see in these videos where you see like the little shadow person poking out the corner and behind you and in the camera feed and all that sort of stuff. I would like to see a simulation ghost game like that where it plays more on the psyche of horror rather than in your face horror.
Yeah.
And then your objective is to go to the various locations in the map and do stuff. That's what I want to see. I would like to see a game like that. Maybe I should make it myself. But, yeah, I would love to see. I would love to see a game like that where it's focusing more story driven, more focused ghost investigation game rather than all about we've got to find out who this ghost is and why this ghost is here. No, just find out, maybe instead of having find out why the ghost is here, find out why the place is haunted, why the place has, like, discovering the history of the place, and then you could add some real life stuff in there as well to make it even creepier. So I reckon that'd be a really cool idea for a game in that direction. But this game is as a good step in that direction with a single player campaign and experience. And I do think the ghost investigation or hunting market is saturated with 4-player co-op games, and there's so many like copycats of each other. Like we've played most of them, and we can honestly say that most of them are like similar in their mechanics. Like they might have one unique thing about them, but the majority of them are literally copied and pasted with slightly variations on them all. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because some good things can come from the copy of something, but there needs to be more unique experiences, and I think this game is the single player game is the way to go if you're sick and tired of co-op ghost games and want to play something single player. Then this is definitely worth picking up. Just like Observation Duty as well as a single player
that's
game.
True.
There's definitely two unique experiences you need to pick up if you like solo YOLO, get scared and run away kind of game. So
Run away.
No,
yeah.
Like you said, not every game has to have a co-op. Sometimes it's nice to have a single player, and yes, it's fun to play with friends, but also you want to have a unique experience when you've got a single player, like you're saying with Arm Observation, for instance. Yeah, it's great to sit down and just get jump scared by those sort of like things that jumping out at you. Or in this case, it does have that sort of shadowy figure that you mentioned. Obviously, it's not as in that realistic terms that you was looking for. But yeah, it's good to see things like this coming forward, and I hope there is more to come. And I'm sure that even within this game, they'll start improving on it. And like I said, there's at least 15 locations which they're yet to release.
Blimey.
So yeah,
A lot of content to come.
there's
then.
a lot to come. There's a lot to come, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we
That's what
look
she
forward.
Oh yeah.
He was
Always
there.
bringing down
He
the
was
narrative.
always there.
Yeah. We can't get away from it.
It has to be that's what she said joke in every podcast, all right?
Yeah.
It's tradition now. Just like joke of the week. It's got to be there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But mine's better. Actually, no. No, it's
Well,
not.
we'll wait and see, Beth.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Should I do the
I think we should.
Phasmo
Yeah, it'd be a good
thing?
segue, isn't it?
Jump into
Segue. Yeah, because
Let's segue
So-
into that then, Beth.
I'm
Because I think we're done with
segueing.
spotlights.
Yes, we're done with spotlights, and we're segueing into the phasmophobias. So we are all avid players of this game. We've all been supporting it since the start of the game. Yes. And basically, because they're still working on the custom difficulty update, they want to bring something for us, something new, and just to keep us busy until the new big update comes out, which I don't know when. We don't know when it's going to come out, but they said it's going to be soon. So I want to give it about a week that it'll come out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, let's just go through. They've done another overhaul for Phasmo, and this time it's the truck overhaul, which I think is awesome. So I'll just go over it here. So basically, ghost types. As we know, they're adding 3 new ghosts to the game, and they are now officially added to the game. So basically, okay, I'm gonna try and pronounce these names. The Degen or Degen, the Moror, the Mori, and the Fae.
Faye?
Fae. I don't know.
So,
T-H-A-Y-E. How would you say that?
T-H...
A-Y-E.
Tay?
Fine.
I don't know. God knows.
I don't know. The ghost. The ghost.
Ghost 24.
Ghost 24. Literally. Yeah, so, and what I think is really cool is that they've also increased the chance for these new ghosts to spawn for the next 2 weeks, which is awesome. And like we were talking earlier, me and Steve were playing it was yesterday? I think.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, and we got a few of the new ghosts, didn't we? We got a few of them, which was cool, and we're still learning about them. But yeah, so basically, they're also introducing the investigation period along with these new ghost types. This gives players around 2 weeks to try and work out all the ghost's abilities, traits, and secrets before we update these patch notes, with the specifics spoiled, of course. We're hoping this will bring back the original investigator feeling and allow players to work together as a team to uncover the truth. And when me and Steve were playing yesterday, it did feel like that because we were trying to really figure out what the ghost was. We thought it was we were trying to figure out which of the new ones it was, and we thought it was one, but then it wasn't, and it was very fun actually to do that. Also, a bit of voice recognition. I know they said they were going to update it. So the system has been completely replaced. We no longer rely on Windows speech systems, meaning it supports many more languages and platforms, such as GeForce Now and Steam Deck, with no setup required, and fixes that Pixie tab
Pesky.
out bug. Oh,
Oh, the
pesky.
pesky tab out.
Pesky. He's don't judge me. Don't judge me. I can't read sometimes. So yeah, you now only need to set up your microphone in game instead of your Windows default microphone. You can now see the input volume of your microphone in the audio settings, and there's additional microphone input options that have been added, which are voice detection, sensitivity, and noise suppression. Due to the new system only working if you are in a server, the voice recognition test has been removed. So basically, before you went into a game, you used to be able to see if it was picking up your microphone, but you can't do that anymore. Which is okay, I guess. And also, they've currently supported languages. So they've got lots of supported languages. They've got English, German, French, Russian, Spanish, Japanese, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, Italian, Portuguese, Brazilian, Portuguese, Dutch, Swedish, Turkish, Ukrainian. How do you say that one?
Czech.
Huh?
Czech.
Czech.
As in Czech Republic.
Oh, Czech.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
cool.
Czech.
Yeah.
Greek
Czechoslovakian.
and true, yeah. And many more languages will be updated in the future, or added in the future, I mean. So onto the main juicy bit of this update. The truck has received new models, a new layout, and materials. So basically, they've completely redesigned the whole thing. Equipment is now placed on the wall of the truck. So before it was on shelves, like metal shelves. Now it's on it's hung on the wall, which I think is a very good idea because it's easier to get your equipment. One thing I don't like is you can't pull it back, but that's not a big issue.
Did any of us pull anything back, to be fair?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it does
just
say
leave
here,
them in the house.
That's true. It does say here, placing any equipment back on the wall, similarly to head cameras, will be added with the custom difficulty update. So I suppose in the next update, the custom difficulty, you'll be able to put stuff back on the wall, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just
It's just a little... It's not a big thing. I'm just, it's just... It was a observation that I saw. But anyway, so the fans had a really good redesign. Steve, you've seen the design. What do you think of it so far?
I kind of like it. It seems a bit more easier to just walk. I mean, you can always walk through players, which is kind of like, doesn't have that collision thing that you have, but you always felt like you was cramped anyway. Like everything on the wall, which just means it's nice on the wall. It's tidy. It's it's not. They've got cameras now next to the tripods, so they're not. You don't have to see. You always felt like you've got to take the video camera to the tripod, which is on the floor almost. It's nicely stacked, the way that they've done it now. The only, as we already mentioned, I think the only problem was that it's best not to light a candle next to the smudge sticks, because as I found out.
I don't know if that was just a bug.
I don't know if it was a bug or not, but...
Or it might be one of the new ghosts. Maybe it messes with your equipment.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
That would be so cool if that happened.
Well, if that was the case, it's kind of broken then, because it should only take place within the house. But that's only my only complaint is that the floor now is no longer
it's
like
noisy now.
It's no longer like a vinyl floor. It's metal. So as you're walking around, you'll hear that clanking of foot on metal, and it's like. Yeah, not really great sound.
Well,
But
No, I don't like the
You're-
sound.
If
But
you
then-
hear that and no one's walking around, then it's time to be concerned, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if you start hearing that in the
Um,
van
So they
and no one's in there.
they've moved the monitor as well, so it's now as you looking into the truck, it'll be facing you rather than side onwards. They've got rid of all of the pictures. They've got rid of all of the shelving and stuff from previous.
The clutter.
That they've just
Yeah,
decluttered
basically,
it.
yeah.
They've just
Yeah, yeah.
decluttered it.
I
So
always
now,
hated that clutter in it.
Yeah.
there's new aesthetics towards the screens. I think.
Yeah, like the little glares and the little
Yeah.
scratches on the monitors, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
It's a nice
I
little
will
touch.
say that sometimes when you have your torch on and you're trying to look for ghost orbs, you can sometimes think that that's a ghost orb and stuff.
Oh, the reflection
like-
from light. Yeah.
Yeah,
the light
like
source,
sometimes you
yeah.
might think you saw something, but it's nothing. It was just your flashlight. That happened about once or twice when we were playing the other day.
Which
Um,
which is just basically means you've got to turn your torch off as you approach the monitor, which is
yeah,
I mean, they could have done something with that, but I guess we'll see what happens.
yeah, definitely. I will say that talking about, I know this isn't a big thing, but when I walked into the van, I noticed that the whiteboard is a bit more lower down. It's not as high up.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like your level, and it kind of feels like a normal height. Then
It's
it's weird.
You're
It
not
wasn't.
looking up at it. You're looking
Yeah.
at it rather than looking
Yeah,
up. You're not cranking
yeah,
your neck if you were
exactly.
there. Yeah.
That's why our characters like can flex like that, because it's just they keep having to look up, at the whiteboard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so have you seen it at all, Freely?
I haven't played it yet. I haven't played the update yet.
So it's kind of it'll be a surprise for you.
Years.
All right. Yeah. So the Maple Lodge campfire will now show a hot temperature reading on a thermometer. I never play Maple Lodge campsite. I don't think any of us do, because there's quite a lot of lag and stuff. I don't know if they fixed that. Hopefully, if there still is lag, they're gonna fix it. But yeah, that doesn't really, personally, affect me, because I never play that map. I only play it if I want to see the little Jason Voorhees Easter egg, which I love. And this, what's his name? The talled guy with the white face.
Enderman.
Sandman, is he still in that map?
I think so. I don't think they've ever taken it out.
Okay.
It's just
Fair enough.
still there to sort of like find.
Haunt you in your nightmares. Yeah, so also new, you can now buy 4 lighters and 3 salt shakers. Yep. And also, as we covered, the footstep sounds for the metal floor in the truck and on the ramp have been changed, and they're kind of clunky, like metal should sound, I suppose.
Yeah.
But they're a bit obvious, and it's not. I don't know. I don't like them that much, to be honest. But then we might just need to get used to it. So they've also made some changes. So the number of free hiding spots will now be increased when playing multiplayer games. So for example, if there's 3 players playing, there'll be 1 times hiding spot. Does that mean there'll be only 1 hiding spot, or there'll be an extra hiding spot?
There'll be an extra.
There'll be an extra one. Okay. So I don't know how many are normally on a map.
They changed it to a prior update where the update took away too many hiding spots, so they've reverted back to whatever it was before. So I think you had a couple of the closets were blocked off with objects inside them, or
Okay.
yeah. So I think what they've done is now they're freeing up as an extra space.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and 4 players, you get 2 more hiding spots as well. So I'm not sure if I need to go through all the changes. Just some, quality of life things. Oh, it does say the map screen on the truck now has up and down arrows for changing floors instead of a single button, and I really like that. I really like that a lot. The the fact that you can do that is a nice little touch they've done. And they've done quite a lot of fixes with the the sanity pills can no longer duplicate for extra use. Oh yeah, we were trying to do that one time, but we weren't very good at it. Yeah, so you can't do that. You can now use the main menu boombox in VR. Really? Oh, that's cool. I don't know if you could do that before. You can now interact with all interactable objects in VR. Okay, that's good. The photo camera's sound will now be muffle correctly between floors. You can no longer light lighters with lit candles. Oh, okay. Candles can now be lit with other lit candles. I'm not gonna go through all this, but it's just some, quality of life updates there. And unfortunately, that's all we've got so far. But this is just to keep us busy until, the big update, the custom difficulty update, which I'm very excited about. And yeah, that's pretty much it all that I have to share. um, any thoughts?
No, I mean I've pretty much covered what I've thought about it. Just brief recap. Yeah, it's like I said. I think the floor in the metal flooring is a little bit annoying, but other than that, everything else it's just to tidy a truck. What they've done is just tidied up the truck. That
Yeah.
is, like you said, it's leaning towards the full game release coming out of early access. And those 3 new ghosts, again, it's another 3 ghosts on top of what we already had, but they're there now, so
Yeah.
you just got to try and learn them, I guess.
Yep. Yep.
So they're always constantly adding to that. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more improvement towards the game rather than keep adding ghosts. But I've said that a long time ago, so
Yeah, I think we're
it's just
all in that
um, you mentioned that like the campsite. I do occasionally sort of jump into it, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see them trying to optimize that better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Every time with these updates come out, I pretty much repeat what I've said previously, so
Yeah.
I'm not going
Yeah.
to continue to do so. But I've enjoyed what I've seen so far,
Yeah.
and I will
Yeah.
continue to do so as long as they don't take away from the full experience of the game and change what it first set out to be. And
Exactly.
that's always been my thoughts on the game.
Yeah, indeed.
And that's pretty much me done with that. And if
Yes.
anyone else
Yes.
wants to continue on, that's fine.
I am done with that too.
Freddie, any thoughts on that, or you not really played the update, so it's not really
I
difficult
can't
to
really give any opinion because
an
I haven't
opinion on
played
it?
it. I
Yeah,
haven't seen it. But judging by the notes, it seems like a welcome change.
yeah,
I did find using the shelf annoying, and I hated the clutter in the van. I always said, "Oh, this needs to be either changed, made relevant, or removed." I said
yeah,
that a little while ago. In fact, well, I remember moaning about it in the when we was playing the game. I was like, "This is
yeah.
just annoying me now. It's just the crap everywhere." Um,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know, want to get away from my house, not go back into it.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure it'll be a great laugh. I've already said that I think there's too many ghosts in the game.
Yeah,
Unless these new ghosts are way different from what we've got already, then I'll reserve judgment. But if it's more of the same with just a slight difference, I'm going to be a bit annoyed. I love Phasma. Don't get me wrong. I think I've said this movie many times. Critique is a valid part of any game development cycle, and I want unique ghosts and unique to give me a unique experience. There's no point having all these ghosts if they're going to do the same stuff by one thing.
yeah,
I mean, it kind of makes the experience a bit dulled and diluted and not enjoyable because you might as well just have one ghost that does all this. You know what I mean? There's no point having millions of ghosts if they all do the same stuff. So I'm hoping that the new ghosts are worthy of the edition, and it isn't just more padding for the game cycle, development cycle, or just prolong the life of the game prior to their release, which I know they're going to. I know I've said this before. I reckon they're gunning for a full release in October or near that, around that spoopy time. So I'm hoping it's going to ramp up like content wise in the future. I hate the camp map. It absolutely kills my computer. I hate the design of it anyway. I find it really annoying to navigate. You get lost easily, and it's just I just find it so just easy pickings for the ghost, really, especially if there's twins in that camp zone. But that's just a minor gripe of mine with that map. Is I find it just a little bit too tedious to navigate. Same with the Asylum, which I'm hoping the update makes that a lot more relevant and accessible and easier to get around, and quicker too, because it's a very long map. Some games can take nearly over an hour, depending on how unlucky you are with evidence, which is practically me all the time. And in Phasmo, just get no evidence and then die. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It will be fun. I know quite a lot of our community plays it, so it will be nice to jump in, and hopefully we can get a group of 4, because that's when I think the game truly shines. Is 4 players. But yeah, looking forward to it. It sounds promising. Hopefully the updates are the content is good, and the custom difficulty has a lot of customization and not just a load of sliders that you can play with. I hope it has some in-depth customization to really push the boundaries of the game. But we'll wait and see how that pans out.
Yep. Awesome.
Right. Okay, we think we're done with that. Let's move on to some news. Has anyone got any news that they want to talk about?
Was not so much news per se, but more of a remission of what I said last week about the infamous Diablo Immortal, which I defended last week. And it has been in the news. It's been all over the news, actually, with all the scaremongering. Well, what I thought was scaremongering of the 110,000 pay to win section, and all the pay to win mechanics. It turns out it isn't just pay to win; it's also pay to progress. There's a few videos that have been released on the internet. Yong Yeah has covered this topic, saying that there's also now hidden caps for the free-to-play players as well, which I'm going to go into. And I'm just completely flabbergasted that this game is so heavily pay to progress, pay to win, that I think it shouldn't even be allowed to be on the market now after everything that's been found out about this game. And I've got my barbarian to level 60. I'm in the Hell 1, which is the early end game of Diablo Immortal. Now, don't get me wrong, the game is really fun to play. I love the gameplay loop. I love how the characters play. I love the mechanics. I love how it works. The settings are really good, and the level design is fun. And killing and absolutely annihilating mobs is always fun. But unfortunately, that's where the game starts and ends now. So the whole crevice why I'm so fed up and why I'm taking back my support for the game is they have limited drops for free-to-play players. So anyone that's played any loot-based action RPG like Path of Exile or Torchlight or the earlier Diablo games, Diablo 2, 3, and 1, will know that progression is drops, and these drops are legendary items or set items that you get progressively, increasing your chances to do the higher difficulty content in Diablo. That's how it works. You farm one section to then farm the next one, and then farm the next one, and so forth until you get to the end level where you farm the top tier content and farm the top tier drops to max out your character, so you can be the greatest demon slayer of all time. In Diablo Immortal, there's no such thing as steady progression. Everything is held behind a paywall. The paywall is the Elder Rift, because they have limited free-to-play players to 5 legendary drops a day. In a 24-hour period, you will only get 5 legendary drops, and 3 of the 5 I had yesterday were 3 of the same item. The shoulders, 3 shoulders, exactly the same. No difference, exactly the same. Absolute rubbish. And then the other things they are limited now is the gem drops. The gem drops only happen if you find a hidden layer. I thought the gem drops are infinite as long as you found the hidden layers and you just farm them like you would any other Diablo game. And the first 3 layers drop gems After that, they drop nothing until the following day. And then you've got the other stuff, which is let me just read my notes here. You get drops from being in a group as well, group of 4 doing dungeons. It also gives you gem drops and a chance to get set drops or legendary drops. They are limited to 3 a day in a group. So that completely eliminates the point of playing the game. Nobody wants to farm blues and yellows like items, which is basically the rare items that are fodder. You turn into crafting materials to upgrade your current set of weapons. I haven't had a new drop in 2 days of grinding Hell 1, which supposedly has a higher drop rate for legendary items and legendary weapons. And compared to somebody who, say, buys the Elder Rift tokens, which is 20 quid for 10, and the cash shop is disgusting. Really, when I really actually paid attention and looked into it, because I've already bought the battle pass. I bought the £5 battle pass, and so has Steve, because we really thought that this game was. I thought this game was going to be amazing, and suckered in by the gameplay and the thought of playing with everybody, and even Beth has put hours into us playing this game, leveling up her character. And I'm not saying we're not going to play the game anymore, but this puts a massive dampener on our enthusiasm to boot it up and log in and play. Because of just how relentlessly repugnant these pay to win and pay to progress mechanics are. Locking progression behind a paywall is a big no-no. I don't mind the gems, so to speak. I can live with not getting legendary gems. Don't bother me. I'll quite happily farm the other content and get legendaries and all the other stuff. No problem. I thought that's how I was looking at the game. I have fun anyway. I'll play the game with my friends. We'll go hunting. We'll farm normal gems. We'll upgrade our gear. We'll get stuff from the gems and hell difficulty and beyond, and we'll casually just wipe the floor of the game. As a group. No, that's not to be. Blizzard have gone out of their way to integrate pay to progression mechanics throughout the game, and there is absolutely no way of farming the progression to get to, say, Hell 2. If I wanted to get to Hell 2, which is 1200 battle power, right? I would have to spend it would take me roughly about 9 months of grinding. Of grinding, and that's saving up the legendary token you get once a month. I thought it was once a week. The hilt currency I was talking about that you can exchange. It's once a month for the legendary token, not once a week.
Really?
Yeah, it's once a month.
Oh.
I thought it was once a week, so that's why I wasn't bothered. I was like, yeah, it's once a week. I can live with that. Save
but
up
once a month.
so it's once a month.
Wow.
So every 3 months you can put 3 legendary tokens into Elder Rift and get a couple of decent drops every 3 months, right? And you're not even guaranteed to get legendary drops from it either, which is the worst thing. So the game is built around the market. It's built around the progression system is intertwined with the pay to win systems in place. Now, as avid Diablo players, I know Steve has played the games as much as I have, so he's very experienced as well as me. I've put over 1,000 hours in Diablo 3. I've put over 200 hours in the original Diablo 2. I paid for about 60 hours in Diablo 1. And I've probably accumulated thousands of hours in other isometric RPG looter games such as Path of Exile, Torchlight, and beyond. And this monetization system is the worst I've ever seen. Actually looking into it and actually paying attention, I just thought it was all like hearsay. Hearsay. I thought it was all just nonsense. I thought it was
Hearsay.
I thought it was all much ado about nothing. Objection. No foundation. I just thought it was absolutely just angry people being angry because Blizzard is Blizzard. Blizzard being a twat of a company and people just overreacting because of what they did in the past and what they've done in the other ruined games like Warcraft 3 Reforged is a good example of a ruined IP. And this is absolutely disgusting. For a mobile game to have pay to win mechanics it's not uncommon, right? Most pay to win games do have this gacha system where you have to pay, and normally you can farm a good amount of pools to just play the game, get through the game, enjoy the game. The only thing it really just you need to pay for is PvP progression in these gacha games. That's the only time you need to I need to have the strongest characters is for the PvP side of it. It's only when you get to end game in most of these games, and I've put many hours into free to play games on my phone. There's a
Yeah.
game I play called Dokkan Battle, which is a gacha game, and I have some of the strongest teams in the game when I haven't spent a penny. Just by farming the stones and playing the game. That is a shout out to Dokkan Battle. That is a fair system, and as a fair free to play system as well. You put the time in, you get rewarded. You put the time in Diablo, you might as well just flush it all down the toilet along with your money because it's just a waste of time. Um, I'm I could go on and on and on about the mechanics and stuff. There's a couple of videos you should watch, and I'm just going to shout them out now. Just for uh, time sake, is Young Year's videos called Diablo Immortal, now worst user rated game on Metacritic, 0.3 by the way. And it now reveals a hidden caps for non-paying players exposed. That's the name of the video. Go and watch that. That explains everything. It's a 15-minute video that goes into detail about all of the mechanics that I've said that are paid to progression. And then there's one more video made by Josh Strife Hayes. That's the name of his YouTube channel. It's the immoral design of Diablo Immortal, and his thumbnail is called Diablo Immoral. And that really opened my eyes to how bad that these systems are in this game. It basically breaks down everything, why everyone is annoyed, why everyone's fed up, what systems do, and how they all intertwine, and how they all are engineered to leech you of every penny at every turn. And then the icing on the cake is the gated free to play drop system and gated progression, which is it's beyond words like how disgusting and how predatory and how absolutely banal this is as a company. I didn't think Blizzard could stoop any lower as a
Yeah.
company. I didn't think they could get worse. I thought the only way is up. When you think they've reached rock bottom, they surprise you and go further into the pit. It's just like they just don't care anymore. There's no passion behind their ideals. I mean, I no disrespect to the hardworking staff there, and like I said, I was willing to give them the benefit of the doubt. And it doesn't matter how good their staff is at making video games if the higher ups are going to ruin it with all this pay to win crap and pay to progress, which is worse. There's no point even working on the game. You might as well just not bother. My message to Diablo staff is quit and find a decent company to work for. Unless you've got no morals and no spine and no anything to stand up to these idiots and actually say that what you're doing is wrong. We shouldn't be making games like this. I'm really worried for the future of Diablo 4 because the rumor is that the mechanics in Diablo Immortal are going to be in Diablo 4 as well,
Yeah.
especially the monetization aspect. But instead of having rifts, it'll be cosmetics. I know there's going to be a cosmetic shop. I know there's going to be cosmetic items that are exclusive to the shop itself. There's going to be other like boosters, like XP boosters, drop item boosters, and stuff are all going to be in the cash shop. I know this from hidden leaks and hidden reports all over Reddit as well. You just look up Diablo 4 leaks and you'll find it, all the disgusting stuff that's rumored. And people are dismissing it, saying it's not going to happen. But after this, it really does put everything into there's no way we can carry on supporting a company like this. If
Yeah.
Diablo 4 is going to have a hint of any of this stuff in it, it's going to be bye Blizzard from me. Now I've paid for the battle pass in the game, so I've got 25 days left on my battle pass. I'm going to continue to play the game for 25 days, and in that 25-day period, if Diablo Immortal have not, or Blizzard have not changed this pay to progression system, at least removing the limits on the free to play drops and especially the loot drops. If that hasn't changed by the time my battle pass has expired, I will be removing Blizzard from my computer and I will be deleting my Blizzard account. And I will never touch another Blizzard game as long as I live, regardless of how good Diablo 4 is or looks. I can't see that being clean of any of this stuff. Although it does pain me. I really want to get Diablo 2 Resurrected, because I really like that game. It hasn't got any of these pay to win mechanics in it, and it's a better version of Diablo 3. So that game is definitely worth playing if you want to play a Diablo experience that isn't monetized to hell and back.
Yeah.
And that being said, even with that is, I really wanted title by myself. I've got to stand by my principles and be like, I can't give this company any more money. Do you know how much
Yeah.
money they've made in a week?
I bet they made a lot.
They've made
Just from
They've made $7 million.
I don't understand, like, because it's really difficult because we want to forgive them, but
Yeah,
they keep betraying our trust and
yeah,
just, like, trying to, you know, when we were talking earlier about it, and I was saying, like, if this is them trying to make an amends, like, they're failing miserably, and, like, hearing you say, like, they don't even care anymore, they definitely do not care anymore, like,
yeah,
they just want it's really disappointing to see, because I was really enjoying playing it with you, and I probably will play it with you until, your battle pass,
yeah.
and just because, it's fun,
It's a fun game. It's a
but
shame. It really is a shame.
yeah, and the fact that they've just bombarded it with those hidden,
Yeah,
scummy,
yeah,
pay to progress, pay to win bullcrap.
yeah,
It's kind of it's very disappointing, really. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
I'm disappointed, really.
I would love to say this is just, someone making an angry post saying and making it all up, but they've data mined the game. They've looked at the code. This is all coded.
Yeah,
This isn't just me just reading off some um,
it's in the
angry post.
foundations.
It's in this. It's actually integrated into the game.
Yeah,
And that has to be unintegrated as soon as possible.
yes,
It is absolutely just, I just can't imagine doing this to your customer base. When you have the reputation you have, um, and the thing is, like, the people complaining are a minority because they don't understand what is going on, right? And
yeah,
most players won't pay a blind bit of attention to YouTube. They won't pay any attention to any podcast like this, or anyone literally waving the red flags, going, hang on, what are you doing? Those people, I don't care. I'll spend money on what I want.
yeah,
It's fun. I'm not saying you can't have fun. I'm not saying the game's not fun, but by being ignorant and complicit in the fun, you're literally funding all of this horrendous.
yeah. You're
In
encouraging them to do it
yeah,
more.
you're literally just encouraging them to carry on making games like this. I mean, the actions speak louder for themselves. 40 million downloads, $7 million. You can't argue with the facts that they're making money, right? And you can't. And nobody cares about the ramifications in the gaming industry. I guarantee, mark my words, in 10 years' time, even full blown 70, 80 pound games will have all this crap in it, 100%. Right? Because if we don't, as a gaming community, that everybody does not put their foot down and say, look, enough's enough. We can't have stuff like this. This is wrong. This is Diablo immoral.
Yeah,
This is absolutely just an ethically and fundamentally an affront to our gaming way of life. You can't just put a price tag on fun and progression and then go, haha, you like this? Well, you're not going to get any of the good stuff until you give me 50 quid. It's like going into a
yeah,
bar, ordering your favorite drink, and they'll be like, "Oh, your favorite drink? Oh, right, okay, that's usually £8, but because it's your favorite drink and you drink it all the time, we're going to give you another, pay another 60 quid. All right." It's like, you just what, you would just end up lamping him, wouldn't you? Give him my
yeah.
goddamn drink. Yeah, it's absolutely disgusting.
It's
And
like
it's
it's like you wouldn't do it in the real world, but
no,
you do it on. That's for some reason. There's like not expectations. There's what's the word? I don't know the word. The It's allowed to be on the internet, even though it shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be allowed.
it's
Did I
it
make?
should be allowed.
Did I make? Did I make sense? I don't think I made sense that much.
It's like,
But yeah,
right, if you apply this situation to a car dealership, right, and you go, you like his car, right? It looks really cool, really nice car. I can't think of any car example. Nice car, the Lamborghini, right? You see this nice Lamborghini, really lovely, brand new, right? That's all. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got the nice sat nav. It's got built-in PlayStation 5. It's got all the trimmings, right? You go over to the guy to inquire about buying it in my dreams. And you go over there, go to buy it. And he goes, oh, okay, yeah, you like this car, right? Well, actually, for the first 80 grand you pay, you only get you only get the metal frame, and then you've got to add in the insides, which is another 100 grand, and then you've got to add in the tires, the engine, all the mechanics, and just keep adding on prices, until you end up with an extortionate like 5 million or something stupid, right? Instead of like whatever it costs, like normally like 350 grand or whatever it is to buy normally. And it's like if that was the case, they wouldn't even be in business, right? That is the point of the whole why everyone is so annoyed and fed up with these sort of practices. Should be, and they are illegal. Where they're illegal in Belgium, they're illegal in Netherlands, they're illegal in other EU countries as well. They should be outright banned. They shouldn't even be allowed to exist. It is so predatory and scummy and geared towards making you addicted and making you. And it isn't just gamblers they're targeting; it's children as well. This game is a 12 plus, right? So you're going to have a lot of kids playing this game, and they'll be like, "Mummy, can I have 20 quid to do a pool?" Blah, blah, blah. And then that's how they start, right? And then they're literally brainwashed into thinking that this is okay. Like the majority of mainstream media think this is all right because it's flagged as pay to win because they don't understand it's actually not pay to win; it's pay to progress. There's a difference, and this is why they're allowed to. They've got away with a lot of not being banned because they've put a little gameplay section in before the pool, right? So the 20 quid you throw into the Elder Rift, right? Elder Rift takes 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how strong your character is. And at the end of that, you can have you got your 3 little tokens. But what isn't shown is if you put 3 Elder Rift tokens in, an option will be, and you've got more than 3, say you've got 10, it will say, would you want to add another 7? You add another 7, right? That's £20 of real money for 2 minutes of gameplay,
Yeah, that's
right? For a chance of a loot explosion. And that's why it's not been made illegal in most places, because it's a tiny little gameplay section. And it's just absolutely ridiculous how they circumvent all these laws and all these rules just to get their own way of screwing the player over. And I know there isn't much to say other than our dismay and our disapproval of it all. Thankfully, the voice is quite large, so I'm hoping Blizzard are listening. They always say they're listening. Whether they're actually going to take any action on it is another matter entirely. But like I said, 40 million downloads, $7 million and above in the first, not even the first week.
So it doesn't feel like they're listening sometimes.
It strikes me that
Actually,
they're not going to listen. Like I really will be surprised in a month's time that less than a month's time that they'll be bringing out a patch saying, "Well, we're going to remove all this blah blah blah. We made the game fair." I highly doubt that.
Yeah.
Highly doubt that. They might add some new mechanics. It's more free to play friendly, but this game is, for a lot of us, are just going to shelve it, which is a real shame, because it is a really fun game to play, and that's just not good enough.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Screw you, Blizzard.
Screw you, Blizzard.
Screw you, Blizzard.
Right. Should we look at something else before moving on?
I've got one more thing to talk about before we move on to the news. I did mention this earlier.
Oh yeah.
Before we started, I know time's getting on a bit, so I try and keep it as short as possible.
Yeah.
Because we started a bit late as well. Because we was chatting away.
Yeah.
So for those that are on YouTube, use YouTube, the platform that everyone likes to watch and hate at the same time. There is a problem with YouTube right now. I think if anyone's been following my YouTube channel, you would know I touched on some drama a few months ago, or a month ago, involving a particular fellow called Quantum TV, who has been banned evading on YouTube and copyright striking fellow creators for no reason whatsoever. He started with Mischief, who at the time only had like 7,000 subscribers, and Quantum TV had a subscriber base of 65,000 subscribers. And Quantum TV, just hindsight, he's a TV tuner channel. He does calibrations for the TVs, even though he's not a qualified calibrator in the slightest. He hasn't got a clue what he's doing, and has had many arguments with the fellow calibrator channels, and has been extremely horrible to them as well. And this guy's been on the platform for 4 years, spreading hateful, disgusting things, and hating the LGBTQ community, wishing that people had died in a mass shooting lots not so long ago in America, and also wishing death on everybody involved with anything, and especially hateful towards LGBTQ communities as well. As we know, it's Pride Month, and YouTube have not banned this guy, even though they were given all the evidence by a YouTuber called The Actman, who has a subscriber base of 1.5 million. He's a funny guy. He has done some dodgy stuff in the past, but he has apologized and he's moved on. He used to be a hateful twat, but now he's a good guy, and knows the errors of his ways. And he actually reached out to Mischief to defend him with all the copyright strike abuse he was getting, and other YouTube channels as well. There was about 10 YouTube channels involved and above, because he was using Quantum's really bad takes on things, and basically taking the mickey out of him, like you do. You put something on the internet, you're going to get the mickey taken out of you, especially if you're an idiot. And he is a full-blown absolute bellend, right? So how it's escalated. Well, the Actman made a video on his Elden Ring video. That's how it all started, an Elden Ring review. And in this Elden Ring review, Quantum TV wished everyone who played Elden Ring to die, and wished everyone to go and jump off a cliff because they're an Elden Ring player and they like the game. If you like the game, you can go and kill yourself. Those are his own words. At the end of the day, go kill yourself. That is a quote from his video, right? Along with other hateful, disgusting remarks. So the Actman obviously took the absolute mickey out of his terrible Elden Ring hot take, and Quantum TV tried to strike his channel. And YouTube agreed that that wasn't a fair strike. He used his content in a manner that's fair use. You don't have to ask for permission for satire or jokey content in fair use, as long as you accredit the person who has the content. There isn't really that's how it works on YouTube with other creators, especially. But this guy was copyright striking the Actman because he didn't give permission for him to use his video, stating that he has illegally downloaded my videos and put them in his video. Yeah, okay, mate. For a fact that YouTube has a download button on its premium service, it's not illegal at all. The fact YouTube encourages downloading of videos, right? So you can't sit there and say it's illegal, right? And even if you do use a third-party website to copy videos for free, it's still not illegal, all right? Because it's part of the process for fair use. So as like I said, as long as you accredit the thing you're using, it's fine. As long as you're not uploading full clips of copyrighted stuff, and then I'm not going to get into that, but that's how it works. So Quantum TV kept his video up. So then he went after the Quantum TV went after the Actman, trying to slate him, making horrible comments in Discord servers on Twitter. So the Actman investigated him, put together a video called "Copyright Abuse," which is up on his channel, and he basically highlights all of the things Quantum TV has done in the past, is doing, and is currently doing to everyone around him. After that video went up, 30 minutes after the Actman had uploaded the video, he was doxxed. His mum was doxxed, his brother was doxxed, and then Quantum thought it'd be a great idea to phone the Actman's mother and threaten her. Not only with legal action, but we wouldn't want families to get hurt in this, would we? We wouldn't want any real world harm to come to those involved. That is a threat, right? That is blatantly a threat, whether it's a direct threat or not. That is a threat. So Actman obviously went mental on Twitter over this. He said a few things again that wasn't okay, but understandable at the time. He basically said if Quantum turns up to his house, we'll shoot him. So I can understand why you would say that, but obviously in his hindsight, in his position, really shouldn't have said it. You know, some of this has been self-inflicted on the Actman. I love the Actman, but some of it has been, I've been like, mate, you really should think about before you say things. He compiled a massive dossier of evidence. He got about 20 or 30 YouTubers involved. He got the AV community involved. He got such a massive folder. Took him a month to gather. He sent it to YouTube for revision and say, look, you need to get this guy off the platform. He's band evading. He's got multiple channels. He's scum. He says horrible things. He's this, that, and the other. Right? Doesn't own any of it, by the way. Quantum TV denies anything and says it isn't him. He says he was hacked, and everything he said on these horrible posts and things he said it wasn't me. It's clearly my account, but it wasn't me. It's complete nonsense.
Wow.
The guy is so unhinged. It's hilarious, really. So YouTube came back to Actman last week, and they said, "We find Quantum TV innocent of all charges," which is hilarious. When there's been multiple channels involved: Mischief, Review Tech USA, Asmongold, High Quality Gamers, the Actman. There's a few others as well. I can't remember who it is, but there's quite a few.
Mhm.
And they had all that evidence, all the links, all videos, all documentation, everything. And the YouTube's excuse was, well, as most of these are not active links and deleted tweets and deleted this, that, the other, we can't actually press chart. We can't actually do anything, even though their own terms of service say anyone acting like a nut job on the platform or off the platform that's in the partner program that is earning money from YouTube is a YouTube employee, therefore representing the company. Therefore, if you're doing something stupid, you will be booted off the platform because we don't like the crazies. That is basically a rundown of what they say in their own TOS video, which is online. You can go and look it up. And Quantum TV is breaking every single one of these laws, including doxing and harassing other members of the YouTube community. Obviously, the Actman didn't take too kindly to this, so he made another video saying the dark age of YouTube, which I actually saved to my computer because they took it down. YouTube
Oh,
took it down.
good
They
thinking.
took it down. They took it down for sexual content. Well, there's no sexual content in it,
Is
right? There's
yeah.
nothing. There's nothing in it, right? The reason they took it down is because what happened was before the video was taken down, the app man fed up with the YouTube's inability to act and do anything about this Quantum TV guy, especially regarding the doxing and the safety of the Actman's family. He said he basically made a satire post saying, "Oh, I'm gonna dox and threaten all the members of the YouTube family just for giggles, you know, because someone else can do it and get away with it. Maybe I'll just do that for funsies." Right, and he
Yeah.
put a lot of jokey faces. You can blatantly tell it's a joke, right? He's poking fun at the fact that YouTube aren't acting on this, right? It's a blatant joke. It's in poor
Mm,
taste. You shouldn't have done it, but
of
it's a
course.
joke, right? So YouTube strip his channel of the YouTube Partner Program. He's been in the YouTube Partner Program for 8 years. They removed it. They demonetized his channel, all of it, every single video, all of his content, completely demonetized. If that wasn't worse, they don't ban Quantum TV. It's
Yeah.
Pride Month, and they keep this hateful bigot on the platform who's gone out of his way to still, mind you, he's still saying hurtful stuff on his Discord and in private, which there's screenshots of plenty of other people have found of him. And he's basically saying it's a massive smear campaign. Everyone's against me. Well, the reason for that is, mate, it's because you're a horrible, horrible individual that needs to not have a voice on social media. You are poison, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
beneficial to come out of your face ever, right? It's just absolutely disgusting how YouTube has punished the Actman for A, standing up for the little YouTuber, B, standing up for the terms of services that have been broken on 10 affronts, right? 10 terms of services have been broken that are legally binding when you sign up to use the platform, nay whatsoever. So, you know, and the other thing is oh crap, I've lost my train of thought now. The other thing is no, right, anyway, moving on. The YouTube have a lot to answer for, and the fact that they're not only are they privating comments on their Twitter feeds about anything they post in Pride, is saying, well, you can't care about Pride that much because you still got this guy on your platform. Hashtag Justice for Actman has been trending on Twitter for 3 days.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I would urge everyone to retweet Justice for Actman and retweet the stuff that I've posted about it on at TheFreedyShow on Twitter, and have a read of the stuff that I've said, because I'll summarize it up quite easily for those that are not in the know. And it's just disgusting. We're on this platform, and this platform is literally gone down the Swanee. In the past 24 hours, they've shown their true colours. Right?
Yeah.
It's such an easy win for YouTube. Just turn around and go, right, hang on a minute, right? We made a mistake. We overreacted. We shouldn't have done that. Yeah, I do agree. Yakman should get punished for his insolence. You know, that
Yeah,
joking about
definitely.
doxing is definitely not okay.
No.
But he would never have known how much this would have cost him, right?
I
Because
think I think
the first thing is he deleted it 5 hours after the post, and
oh, so you understood.
YouTube didn't ban him until 24 hours later.
That's weird.
So,
Okay.
you know, he deleted the post. He apologized to his rep. He apologized to YouTube, and yet that didn't matter. They were like, "Yeah, the dunsies."
Yeah.
While the other guy is Content TV is free to spout his hatred and abuse to everyone he sees fit. It's so
Yeah.
hyper. Oh, and there's one more thing I must add. Anybody that has been supporting the Actman with more than 200,000 subscribers has had their channel demonetized and put on surveillance.
Wow, really?
Any other content creators put Actman in the title, defended Actman, has also been suspended or demonetized. It doesn't matter on my channel because I'm not in a partner program. So if they delete my channel, I'm like, I don't give a monkeys. I don't lose anything, right? I'm not bothered. I'll just make another channel. I don't care. Well, everyone's ban evading. I'm sure it's okay. You know?
Yeah.
You got one rule for one person and one rule for everyone else. How does that work? You know, YouTube are literally in the gutter right now, and I'm ashamed to be associated with the platform. There's not going after the Actman and silencing him is one thing, but going after everyone else that supports him when he's right is absolutely scummiest and scum. That is just as bad as Quantum, and they all need to be held to account for their actions. No one is above repercussions of what is right, and this is not right at all. You know, if you make a mistake, you own up to it, you move on. Actman has done that. Quantum TV has not owned up to any of his things he has said. He has denied it in the blue in the face, said it wasn't him, even though there's it's so much evidence with his name and logo all said to it, and it follows a pattern as well. It's a pattern of behavior. It isn't just one or two posts that are taken out of context. It's over 4 years worth of context that is the same pattern of abusive behavior. So you can't even argue, oh, it's taken out of context, because it isn't, because the context speaks for itself. And as someone who is a massive Actman fan and former YouTube fan, I am absolutely
Yeah.
disgusted in all of this. And I do actually think that we need a new platform. We need a new platform to go to. There has to be someone out there who has the tenacity and the funding to make a YouTube-esque platform that isn't corrupt to the high heavens and doesn't support hatred and bigotry and doesn't allow this sort of crap to go on when they state it in their terms of service. If you look at the difference between Twitch and YouTube, yeah, Twitch sometimes might be an arsey platform, but their terms of services apply to everybody. They recently banned Asmongold for something that wasn't even his fault. He had hate speech in one of the chats on Diablo Immortal. He wasn't even policing the chat in Diablo Immortal, but because someone said some hurtful things in the chat on his screen on Diablo Immortal's chat, he got banned for 24 hours. That's how
Yeah.
they're willing to ban their top streamer. One is in the top 5 at least for that, and yet YouTube don't even ban practically a nobody, and yet they ban someone who's earned them, hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue over the last 7 years he's been on the platform with these millions and millions of views that he's had on his videos. So, they're defending someone that has hardly any income for their platform, who's a waste of time compared to someone who has made them loads of money. I've
Yeah.
got no words. I can't. My
I
brain
think
cannot handle any more nonsense. I think I'm going to implode from ineptitude of YouTube. I think in a minute.
I
I just,
think you've summed it up really well. Even I don't know much about the whole situation, but I've heard about it from you, and I've watched some videos on it. But I can't really say like I know a lot about it, but I can kind of see where, like, obviously it's not fair on Ant-Man, the fact that he got banned and he didn't really do anything wrong until he, made a joke about the doxing, and obviously that is not okay, and he shouldn't have done that, like you said. Um, but the fact that the other Quantum TV guy is like still kicking, that's just it's not fair, is it? Really, it's really not fair. And I was gonna say maybe a new platform, OnlyCans, maybe.
only cans. Uh,
Yeah, I think
maybe we can rap together as community and get one started.
yeah, OnlyCans. I think that's a good thing to do. No, for all seriousness, yeah, I think you know, I think they're both like I know Ant-Man was doing it as a joke, and obviously he doesn't deserve to get like fully.
No,
Did he get banned or?
he got removed from the platform.
Oh,
He
it
got
got okay.
demonetized.
Oh yeah.
He got removed from his partnership program. He got
Okay, shouldn't.
deplatformed. So basically, he's not part of YouTube anymore. He got fired from his
Okay,
job, basically.
yeah, yeah. That's not. That's just
You know,
terrible.
that's compared to what the other guy's done, and he's
Yeah,
actually threatened people and actually gone out of his way to leak public personal information as well.
it's
And not
almost
just
like
it's his brother, his mother, and himself have been constantly doxxed.
yeah, it's almost like YouTube don't even understand the situation.
No,
Like they haven't even read into it, and it. You know,
he's made some stupid mistakes and he's apologized for them and he's held his hands up and said, "Yeah, I done it out of anger, out of spite. I shouldn't have done it. Now, in hindsight, I shouldn't have done a lot of stuff." He said, "But I've been so stressed and so fed up with it all and so disillusioned with everything that YouTube has done." He said it's put me in a very bad mindset sometimes. Um, this guy doesn't sound like he's got a close friend support group that can help him make sensible decisions. He lashes out in anger and then immediately goes, "Oh crap!" With Quantum, he lashes out and just laughs about it. There's a big difference in someone who generally makes a mistake and owns up to it. Someone that's just evil and doesn't admit to anything.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's no comparison really. He deserves to be suspended for what he did. Of course he does.
yeah. Of course, but not
You shouldn't be
removed.
you shouldn't be threatening YouTube YouTube's family in any way, shape, or form. But I think it's funny how they react when their own family is mentioned, but they don't react when their YouTube employee, basically, he's an employer of YouTube. He's an employee of YouTube, and they don't react when he's threatened. So it's kind of a double standard there, where he's still a contracted employee.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
being paid by YouTube. You're being paid by YouTube. It's a job, isn't it? He's under contract. He's in the partnership program. Technically, he's an employee. His employees being harassed. Their terms of services aren't enforced at all. They're completely broken. I know I'm going to have a broken record here, but it's just like I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I just don't get how they can arrive to the conclusions they arrive at. And I know the Bits and Pieces podcast is usually about video games and fun and stuff, but I figure just because we are on the platform and it does affect us because we do, the podcast is uploaded to YouTube. We want a better YouTube. At the end of the day, this is what it's all about. A better place for YouTube is a better place for YouTube, and without horrible people on it, is a better place for everybody. And that's what that's what at the end of the day is what he's now striving for. He doesn't care if he comes back to the platform or not. He wants YouTube to be better. You know,
yeah,
in the words of Kratos, "Don't be sorry, be better."
Yeah,
yeah. Boy,
exactly.
is
No, I
that
think
Boy,
I think
is
you
that
are
Kratos?
definitely right. Yeah, yeah. That's
Does he
Kratos.
say boy?
Boy, boy,
Boy. All right.
boy,
boy.
Okay,
boy.
sorry, I kind of derailed it. Sorry about that.
That's
I'm being all serious and then derailed
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's fine. Insert laughter here.
Insert, insert tumbleweeds.
Yeah,
um,
Oh dear.
Yeah, I think you summed up really well, Freedy. And I
No,
want,
you're absolutely right. We do need a much safer platform for everybody to be on, not just, and it is true. Especially like you said, we don't always talk about video games. There are some real world things that happen that
yeah.
affect, that do need a bit of attention. And I thought that was fair play to bring that in. Yeah, it is a platform that we, like you said, we do use, and we, in order to get yourself noticed, sometimes you socializing and stuff like that. That's another way of getting yourself noticed, isn't it? To use YouTube, that, or TikTok or something like that. I mean, if they've all got like their own horrible
OnlyFans.
areas. OnlyFans, yeah,
Yeah.
they've all got their
Only
own.
can.
They contain a lot of them contain their own like trash, but that can always be brushed away sometimes. But this needs to be a bit more. This is a little bit more serious.
Yeah,
Yes,
with
serious.
attention.
it just opens the floodgates if this isn't dealt with. That more
Yeah.
hateful people will come forward. More hate will. It's like a seed. A seed of hate will then sprout and spread if it's not dealt with, and that's unfortunately what will happen if YouTube don't act quickly.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well said.
Right. Moving on. Let's
Moving
go.
Moving on.
Enough
It's,
serious stuff for one
Yeah,
night.
that's,
I'm worn out now.
It's at Tumbleweeds.
Can I have a
Well,
nap?
Can I have a nap?
I already had a nap. No, I'm
Actually,
joking.
yeah, actually, whilst we do move, let's move on with something a little bit more of a light-hearted thing.
Should we talk about the Game Awards?
We can
Do you want to
do a
mention some
little.
of them? Do you
I
want to laugh at the Game Awards, rather?
I didn't.
I think I
We
did
don't have
like-
to watch the whole thing. There's a highlight video. I think it's 30 minutes of trailers, but we can go through it quickly. I'm just suggesting. You can tell me to shut up. I'm just suggesting.
I just want to make a few
Freedy, go away.
highlights. I just want to make a few highlights of the games that happened.
So we can go back to the gaming section of the podcast.
Yeah.
There's a few things I wanted to talk about the thingamajig. It's not too many, just like
All
2 or 3 things.
What thingamajig are we talking about here, Beth? Is it safe? Is it safe for work thingamajig, or is it not safe for work thingamajig?
Safe for work today.
Ah, boring.
Listen, so
Is this
non-safe for work.
This is the
it's the-
Summer Game Awards. Yeah.
Yes, Summer Game.
Summer Game Fest held by whatever that guy's name is. That's really annoying.
Jeffrey.
Oh, Jeff
Keighley.
Jeff Kingley. Jeff Healy. Is it Jeff Healy? Jeff Keighley?
Keighley. Yeah.
Jeff
Something
Keighley?
like that.
Jeff Keighley?
Something like that.
Jeff Mealy? I don't know. Jeffy.
I was gonna say something.
My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
I was gonna say that the not safe for work is for when I'm in the expense experience. That's when that happens.
What,
So
when
if
you're
you
in
want,
the hole?
anyway, so
Sorry, everybody. So that's an in joke for us. Yeah, I'm not going to explain, but she knows what I'm talking about.
yeah. All right. So just a few things I want to touch.
You want to touch, huh?
Not. The Calio.
Derailed.
So, I mean, we don't. Yeah, it's starting to derail, and
Sorry, I'll shut up.
the Caliosto protocol.
Oh yes, the Callisto protocol.
I wanted to touch on that.
Yes.
I saw the trailer, and you might have to bleep this out, Mr. Steve.
That's fine.
But I was like, fuck yes. Like, this looked so freaking amazing. It's from the Dead Space original team who made Dead Space.
Yes.
And just the atmosphere and the feel. I am so freaking excited for this game. And they even showed gameplay. And I was like, hell yeah,
I know, right?
man. And like, this game I'm definitely going to be picking up. And
100%. I've already
Just
pre-ordered it.
so freaking awesome, so freaking cool. I'm excited. And yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. If you're a Dead Space fan, if you're a horror fan, check out the trailer for the what's it? How do you say it? How do
What
you say the name?
the Callisto Protocol?
The
Yeah. The
yes.
Callisto Protocol. I'm running that trailer
I
right now.
think that's how you say it. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, I gotta say, there's this one moment in the trailer where he lifts up this guy and he throws him into the fan, like that big fan. Oh my god, that is so freaking cool. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay.
Right, for those watching now, there is a trailer running, so
There's also the gameplay footage, which is 3
Gameplay.
minutes long, which you can also show as well.
Yeah, it's just it looks like it's just that it just looks amazing. The atmosphere,
is
it just
yes,
looks fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
it's literally next generation of Dead Space.
Yeah, and
When I saw it, sorry, but just to cut off quickly, when I saw the trailer, I immediately thought, this is Dead Space. It's Dead Space. This is Dead
yeah,
Space. This is like Dead
yeah,
Space. And then I
yeah,
thought, and then when I heard about the dev team, I was like, oh, Dead Space.
yeah.
Just it's a million Dead Spaces went through my head. This is the Dead Space 4 we should have got.
Yeah, even in the start of the trailer, you can hear the breathing, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that brings me back. That brings me back to the original Dead Space when the breathing and the mask.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I'm excited. I'm just I can't. There's no other fantastically hyperactively. Anyway, I'm trying to think of some more words to describe it, but I can't.
So December 2nd, 2022.
Yeah, it does so many things that you can just see from the gameplay. This is what a gameplay trailer and a trailer should do. It should build up hype, but also give you gameplay, so it doesn't give you any false
Yeah,
expectations. And the fact that it's such a draw to not just Dead Space but Alien and all the old school horror stuff in space. It reminds me a little bit of what's that film with Lawrence Fishburne in? And these like the ship are all taken over and they all die and he's like left. It's Event Horizon, I think it is.
Event Horizon. Yeah.
It reminds me a little bit of Event Horizon, where he wakes up and he's on his own and everyone's dead. I know the film doesn't start off like that, but spoilers. Sorry if you haven't seen it. Event Horizon, one of the best sci-fi horror films ever made. Go and watch it. The game looks incredible, like just from the lighting, from the sound effects, from the monster design. It looks like everything we could have got with Dead Space 4 had EA not dropped the ball and decided to kick them all out for no reason whatsoever by saying single player games are dead. Yeah, all right, mate. I think you're slightly wrong on that one. And I actually I'm so hyped for this. Like Beth, I'm very giddy about the whole thing. I
yeah,
can't wait to see get my hands on the game. Now, I'm really hoping it is a single player experience and there isn't like forced co-op. If there's co-op like Dead Space 3, all great as long as it's playable, fine.
it's
But
solo.
I really want a solo, like a really hardcore horror solo
Yeah,
experience. That there's nothing like Dead Space out there. If you haven't played
yeah.
a horror game that you want to get literally the crap scared out of you, Dead Space 1 and 2 are the best horror games you can play as a third-person shooter.
Dead Space, like they are out
Yeah.
of, like they are so good at, creating atmosphere and scares.
Yeah.
I'm so passionate about it.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, right? Dead Space remake is coming, and I think that's going to be a very, very good game. But I think the Callisto Protocol is going to absolutely annihilate the Dead Space remake
Yeah,
because
definitely.
there is the massive difference is that it's a remake, so it's just a graphical uplift, and they'll probably change a few things here and there. They might add some new content, but you're going to get more of the same. The game is old. You probably already played it, completed it. If you're a fan of the genre, with the Callisto Protocol, you're going to get something completely different, but also feel so familiar. I loved how the health design is on his neck and the health bar, one thing I noticed was the weapon design looks so much cooler. Like
Yeah,
it just looked like the futuristic weapons that you would have, like laser guns, really cool looking. You got telekinetic powers and stuff that you have in the in Dead Space. So it looks like it just ticks all the boxes.
Oh, yeah. I
But
will
it's
say, sorry.
no, sorry, Beth. Go
I
on.
no, you go.
I've forgotten it now. So
I was just gonna say there's a really funny bit in the trailer where they were showing gameplay and he was shooting a bad guy and he missed every shot. I thought that was very funny.
yeah.
Like the person who was showcasing missed every shot.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, I laughed as well.
and then at the end you're stomping it like, God damn it, I missed
Yeah,
every
yeah,
shot.
yeah. Stop the stompers back. What
Yeah.
what really sold me was the death animations. They threw a few death animations in the
Oh
trailer,
yeah.
and it was like finally a game that's going to explore horrific death animations again, like Dead Space 1 and 2, and that's what Dead Space 1 and 2 became known for. Was the horrific ways to die and how many ways you die, as
Yeah.
well as number 2 has more horrific than the first one. In fact, number 2 has one of the worst death scenes I've ever seen, and it makes me cringe just thinking about it. Now, if you want to give spoilers away, the game is quite old, so you should have already played it. But if you want to know what I'm talking about, there's a scene where what's the main hero's name, Beth? The Dead Space dude.
Oh my God.
I can't think of his name.
Crap.
It's called Crap, right? Crap, like Crap is it?
I
Mr.
can't
Crap
remember.
is in the. Mr. Crap is in the. He's right. I'll go with that. Mr. Crap is in the. Is in the scene, and he's basically got to lie down on this table, and he's got to have something removed. And basically this machine scans him, and it starts to malfunction, and this thing is like got loads of drills on it, and it's above his head, and
Oh, I've
it's like
seen this
it's
death
dangling.
scene.
It's
Oh,
dangling like
Isaac.
that, and Isaac, that's it.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
pulls his eyes open, like it starts going, he
I've
starts
seen.
freaking out, and the thing gets closer and closer. So it's like a mini game. You got to try and get out of it.
Yeah.
And I failed first time round, and Jesus Christ, I was nearly sick. Right, it was so surreal. It was the sound effects as well that really got me. And it's one thing that I can say that freaks me out and makes me feel so uneasy the most is sound design. And
Yeah.
the drill goes into his skull, it was like,
Yeah, it's horrible.
I was like,
so
I was like, no, stop.
Stop it. Stop
Back,
doing
please.
it.
I literally had to take a break because I was freaked out, and I was like, I'm not going back in there.
Let's avoid that room.
Yeah, it was really, 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 really gross. And so Isaac Crap died very badly then. And
Isaac.
and the Callisto reason I was mentioning this is because in the gameplay demo, the geezer backs into a
Oh my God,
grinder,
it's so good.
and he just gets sucked in. He's like,
I was watching that and
eviscerates.
I was like, WTF?
Yeah,
Like, what just
I
happened?
rewatched it like 3 times. I was like, what? What just happened? He's got turned into mincemeat. What
It's
happened
so
there?
good though.
And
So good to see though.
So not only do you die from bad guys, there's environmental death as well, which I can't wait to try and explore how many ways I can kill the protagonist off without even trying to. I'll just die anyway because I'm bloody useless at the game. But I know the section's gone on for a lot longer than it should have done. But it's such an underrated horror genre. It's dominated by the Resident Evil scene, and there's so many better games than Resident Evil for the casual horror fans. Broaden your horizons. Pick up the Callisto Protocol. Buy Dead Space 1 and 2. Don't buy 3 because it wasn't made by the original Dead Space team. Dead Space 3 was only made by a handful of the original Dead Space team. At that point, most of the Dead Space team had left, and then they come back to make the DLC, which is why the DLC is far better than the main game of the third one. But it's too expensive to pay out for now. The DLC is still like 14 quid. So don't worry about the third one. You won't miss much. Play the first one, get the second one. You can get them for peanuts, or you can get them on the Game Pass for included with the Game Pass. Sometimes they get given away for free on Twitch Prime and Epic Game Store. They do give away Dead Space. I have that. If I haven't, they will be soon. Especially when the remake comes out, I'm pretty certain they will run with a promotion of the original game to promote it. But if it's literally, I think it's like £2 or £3 on CD keys, the first and second one. Highly recommend. CD keys. Please sponsor us. And
No, it's just It's the
And,
same
Sponsor us.
game, but it costs less. It's like
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very, very cheap, and even if it's on sale, it's usually about £1, £2, or free. The price of a McDonald's burger most of the time, or less. So
Mhm.
100% worth. McDonald's sponsor us, and worth having in your library if you like the Resident Evil series, and maybe Silent Hill as well. It's got a touch of Silent Hill, but it's set in space. So
Capcom, sponsor us.
yeah. In fact, we're open for sponsors. Please contact Funny Bits at his Twitter, right? And
Yeah.
Funny Bits One, and
Pizza Hut.
and, and the Freedy Show. Direct DM us. Come on, we're worth it. We'll sell our souls for some pizzas now.
We will sell
Anyway,
pizzas.
we'll sell. We'll give you plenty of buff pizzas. Um,
Buff pizzas. Plenty of buff
dear.
pizzas.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
So right, let's move
anyone
on
who
before
doesn't
I.
Right,
understand that, they're
Let's
probably
move
like,
on before we
what?
keep.
there was
talking
there was other
nonsense.
games there. There was other games there as well.
There was what Beth, what
Um,
are they?
All right, can I?
Yeah, go
I've
on,
just
Steve.
spotted
Steve.
something that might be
Go.
interesting.
Taking over again.
It's
Yeah.
Layers of Fear are going to be doing
yes.
Oh, yeah,
remaking.
Layers of
what about
Fears.
that? Yeah.
Layers of Fear.
No,
Layers
no
of Fears.
So
layers
from
of
the Bloomer
fears.
teams.
Layers of Fears, the third one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new installment of the series was officially announced at the Summer Games Fest, and the trailer definitely hit the mark. The new title seems to be a redevelopment concept for the first two games, with a focus on it being psychological and psychedelic horror, given that it's
Yes.
why it's adopted the same name. The franchise is well
Yes.
known for being terrifying, eerie, and outright disturbing. However, the new game appears to be a much improved and enhanced experience. Take it with a pinch of salt, since as the game develops, so does the game's fear factor, which you won't have to worry about now, but you will have some time in 2023. Furthermore, as much as the game appears to give another thrilling experience, it's also looking to step out of the box this time around. Hopefully that comes in the form of some original content and exciting surprise. And it was made with the Unreal 5 engine.
Yeah, it
so
looks phenomenal.
actually looks really cool.
Yeah,
Looks amazing. Absolutely amazing.
that is a game to drool over and be scared of at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I need to play the second one actually. If they're intertwined, I'm gonna have to play the second one now. So
Yeah.
I haven't even finished the first one. That's how bad I am at horror games. I like the fact they've gone back to the aesthetic of the paintings and the psychological horror. The second one is more about monster chases and jump scares than it is about psychological horror. That's why I haven't played the second one, because I don't want to get jump scared out of my pants.
The second one wasn't as good, but the DLC for the first one was better. Like in between the two, I would say if you want a better experience, the first one and then the DLC that follows it are the best out of that original iteration of the whole series. But the second game isn't as good. But
I think people knew, I think the people who made the game knew that people preferred the first one, so they've kind of gone back to their roots with the game.
I mean, that's always been my benchmark, Layers of Fear, as a game of like the way, just it's one of those games I've spoken about plenty of times, and I've said it about it in the past, and I'll say it again. But the first game particularly had those things that scare me the most, and that's dummies, mannequins, porcelain dolls, and paintings. I hate any of those, and they were all in the first game, and I can't stand them. I just really can't. It freaks me out. I don't like things that look real and that isn't.
I loved that when you...
Yeah, sorry.
No, go on. Go on, Mr.
I was going to say I couldn't go into a portrait painting museum or something, because that would just freak me out.
Yeah. I was going to say that I loved when you would go into a section and turn around and it would change.
Oh yeah,
That was I loved that mechanic, and I hope they bring it back, because
very unsettling mechanic.
That scared me a lot. Like, you turn around and you don't know what's going to be behind you. You don't know if it's going to be. You don't know. You just don't know.
But I hate things with mannequins and babies in. If there's anything involving children, like creepy ass, black eyed, fucking scary ass children,
Yeah.
Demons.
yeah, and babies. I've even and babies as well. I've even seen them with the babies of the same demonic babies. I freak out, man. It freaks me out. I have nightmares for days after playing stuff like that. This is why I stopped playing Layers of Fear, because it actually gave me some nightmares. So
Oh yeah.
I actually, the reason I stopped it is because it literally scared me to death. The amount of jump scares I had literally made me have a heart attack. I think the next time I'm going to play this game, I'm going to have a heart monitor linked
Oh.
to 999. So when I do have a heart attack, they're
Oh
called
wow.
immediately. But it looks incredible, and it's glad to see that horror games haven't been forgotten, and there's
Yeah.
still some series that still got some legs. I didn't think there'd be a third one. I thought after the terrible second one, I mean, it wasn't terrible, but it didn't sell as well as the first.
That's a typical trope of any sort of like trilogy. Like sometimes the second one sort of falls flat, and then the third one comes back up again. So.
Yeah,
Well,
third one brings it up.
I think when people try to do the second one, they try to change things sometimes, like change mechanics and different things like that, and that can sometimes, damage it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the second one had a different director lead than the first one.
Oh,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure
So
the second one had a different director, which is why they went in a different way.
that's probably why then.
I
Yeah.
think they didn't want to follow the first one. They wanted a different take on it. They wanted to go in a different direction. And as always, like we say, the sequels aren't always great, because they try to change the formula and add something new. And more or less, if something's successful, people just want more of the same. Just improved and more of it. That's usually the way the how sequels work. Is keep it simple. Don't if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a simple solution. In most series that have done well, have always been more of the same with improved graphics in combat or whatever the situation is. You just got to look at Horizon Zero Dawn in that matter. So it's more the second one is exactly the same as the first game mechanically, but it's still amazing because they've kept it, the same, and it's more of what people want. So that's the same sort of thing that horror games need to do is keep it more of the same, please. More. We want more, not less. Don't change it. Give us more.
Exactly right.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored. Sponsored.
Anyone else seen anything else?
There was one more thing.
Yeah, go on.
That I wanted to say. It's not as big as the other two.
Was it Goat Simulator 3? That was announced as well.
That would be amazing to play. Honestly, it's
even though it never had a second one.
So fun.
Yeah,
that was so funny that they did the Dead. What was it?
Yeah,
Dead Island.
Dead Island 2 piss take. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Like,
I laughed
so
my
funny.
ass off watching that trailer. I was like, got it. And not a lot of people will get that, because they've all forgotten about the Dead Island 2 trailer, because Dead Island 2 is still in a mess of production. But that trailer
as soon as I saw
fast.
that shoe,
and
stuff, I was like,
playing the trailer now. If anyone's watching, this is
like, because I was like, this doesn't look like Dead Island.
For a minute, I thought it was another Fortnite thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, no, it looks like Fortnite. Thank God it's not.
I was like,
I'm surprised they're not actually I'm surprised they've not put goats in Fortnite, just to sort of parody that.
Give it time.
It will be in there. Yeah.
Now they will.
Did they put like? They have.
I love that they goats just headbutting. Do you think there's gonna be like some battle royale thing?
Yeah.
Goat battle royale.
They'll probably have a section of the map that will do that. I mean, there's so much DLC for the first game.
Yeah.
They add so much crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious.
We should play.
Oh, we're definitely we know we're going to be playing this, right? There's no way we're not going to be playing this. It's going to be a laugh a minute, like just running around, just absolutely KOing everybody and blowing stuff up.
Exactly right.
It's GTA with goats.
Basically, it basically is.
You don't do missions, just blow everything up.
So I was gonna. This isn't as cool, but I wanted to mention that Fall Guys will be free, and I think that'd be fun to play together, just for a silly thing.
Fall Guys.
It's when does it come free? Is it the 21st?
Yes.
Yeah,
of June.
So 21st of June. Yeah, that'll
Yeah.
be fun. That'll be fun to play.
I just thought it'd be
It
fun.
definitely needs. I had a feeling it'd go free to play eventually because it launched to a lot of hype and then it
Yeah,
died
and
away.
died down. Yeah.
Because they basically made the maps. The reason a lot of people stopped playing it is because they made the maps too hard, and
Yeah.
some of them are really challenging. So I'm hoping with the free to play aspect, they're going to dumb down some of the difficulty because some of it is so frustrating. I don't know if you played much of Fall Guys, but there's one particular level that I just couldn't do no matter what. You know, and you know, you actually, you know, you're playing the game, Steve.
Yes.
One
Oh
of
my
my
god.
one of my famous
Yeah.
clips is because I wasn't even sure I was in the bloody game. That's
He
like
wasn't
not.
even, he wasn't even the game. He was like, "Why is my controller working?" He's not even. He's watching somebody. And I clipped it. I laughed my ass off for ages
It's one
after
of
that.
my. I think it's one of my most watched clips, and like I put it on TikTok as well.
hilarious.
Yeah, it's just god.
It's so funny.
It's so
like-
funny. So
So
brilliant.
I completely forgot I'd lost the previous round, and I carried on because if you don't quit from the game, it continues
carry
on.
watch. Yeah, you watch
You
some
you
random
watch someone
spectate
else.
person, yeah.
You'll
people, right?
spectate someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was
So funny.
spectating someone else. And I was like, wait, what's going on? I'm not even in this.
Damn it.
was-
Oh, that's great.
It was so good.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I
well,
still laugh at that, and even though I was in it.
yeah, it's hilarious. One of
Yeah,
the funniest
so-
moments. That's what I
So
can't really
so
remember anything else.
I just wanted to say that level I was referring to is the one where the slime constantly rises and you got to run
Oh
up.
yeah, that's horrible. Yeah.
That level is the worst level in the game. I hate it. I always fail that level. I can do the rest of them. I just can't do that one. And every time I played the game, guess what level would come up? You know, so I just stopped playing it.
Yeah.
But I will happily play it with you guys, no problem.
Yeah.
I would love to do it as a group.
Is it cross platform?
I think it
Yeah.
is. I think
It has to be, right?
It was. Yeah, you could. You at the time when I've played it, it was console versus PC.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I think there might have been doesn't matter which
So I
one
had
you
it on
played
the
because
PlayStation.
yeah, you could use a control on both, so it didn't really make a difference.
Yeah, that would be good to get the community involved in that everyone could play that. It's up to 50 players. We could get a massive group of us in the game.
Yeah, it's
you
so
have
fun.
4 to a group though. I think. I'm not sure.
All queue up at the same time, getting the same group.
I think when that
That'd be
goes
sick.
free to play, I think a lot more people will start jumping on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
more momentum to
I
it.
sort of made it up to about season 3, having owned the game on both PS4 and PC.
I dropped out about season 2.
Yeah.
I didn't play it for very long.
I did one of those. I played it for a while, got bored, left it, came back, enjoyed it, got bored again, and then left it. And then sort of like occasionally I keep up to date with the Prime. What Prime does occasionally is give you free stuff, like free content.
For it,
So I've been keeping up with my content, but I just never bother going back to it to claim any of it. So, but yeah, if there's more of us doing it, we might have a bit of fun. I'll
definitely
go back into it. I might reinstall it. I still got it on my Steam library.
Yeah. That's all I can remember. There was a lot of updates and not updates. I mean, there were a lot of games, a lot of indie games. But to be honest, I was too busy playing Phasmo. No, what was I playing? I was playing something, and I wasn't paying attention to it. So, yeah. Do you guys have anything else?
There's one more game I'd like to mention.
Yeah.
All right.
That was from the game. It was in the Game Awards, but it was also in an award show prior to that. Now let me just find it quickly. 1 sec.
All right. We will.
Stormgate.
Oh, that one.
Oh
yeah.
Stormgate.
The RTS.
Oh, this is some of the ex-Blizzard employees, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
StarCraft thing.
Yeah.
Like StarCraft, anyway.
Yeah.
It's gonna be free to play. Also, I think. Yeah, I think they said that.
Frost Giant Studios. Yeah, this is from Frost Giant, of course, from Blizzard. Naturally, makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's basically a StarCraft 2 killer. It has a really good concept. It looks fun. It looks like it's going. Also, it's going to be 3-player co-op. I must add. So that's a really cool feature for the story campaign and just in general. And most of the time, it's PvP, or the PvE's only got 1 or 2 player. So to have 3-player against the computer is going to be super duper fun.
Yeah.
As an old school RTS player, who hasn't really gotten into an RTS game for quite some time. Um, I'm very very excited for this. I was looking forward to Starship Troopers, but that keeps getting delayed. So I'll probably have an opinion on that when I get my hands on a copy. But the CGI trailer and that looks really cool. I didn't think it was an RTS when I watched the CGI trailer. I was like, this looks awesome as a third-person shooter, you know.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then as it goes into the RTS aspect after it, and I was just like, okay, I
It's
can live
just
with that. It looks so
it's
cool.
deceiving.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the deceiving side because it does not. I'm hoping that this is what the story mode is going to be like.
Oh, that'd be
You,
nice. Yeah.
you do the mission and you get a nice little CGI trailer at the end of it or CGI reward. And I'll be disappointed if it's not like that.
Yeah.
Because StarCraft did that, if you remember. You'd complete the
Yes.
missions and then you get a lovely CGI trailer at the end of the mission, and you get one at halfway through it as well. Um, it's former
Yeah.
former
Well,
Blizzard employees.
yeah, you can you can take the staff out of Blizzard, but you can't take the Blizzard out of the staff, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
that and this you can tell it looks very similar to StarCraft and Diablo.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
It's,
trailer, they look so similar. It's like it must have taken a few of the artists with them, and
yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
It looks.
I'm sure Blizzard will sue them because there'll be gits like that, no doubt. But it looks great. I'm looking forward to it, and
Yeah.
hopefully a few of us in our community will get it, so we'll be able to play some co-op.
It'd be
Uh,
free, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know if it's free. I hope
Oh,
it
I thought
is.
it said it was free.
It's a free. There's a free beta if you sign up for
Oh,
it through the
maybe
link.
that was what it was.
Yeah,
Okay.
through the link on the Discord that I provided in my Discord. Everyone can join and sign up for. Because I think it's scheduled for release next year.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if it's free, great, all for it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, 2023.
That
Look for this one to keep an eye out for.
register for beta, so they're saying that beta.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
playstormgate.com.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
can go and register for free. So
Yeah,
that was
I'm
the
gonna do
last
that
game.
actually.
That was the last game I wanted to mention.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all the games I wanted to mention that I'm really excited for. Um yeah, that's me done.
Yeah, I think we
Uh,
should we move on from that then?
Yeah.
That's not a lot more to look at on the summer games, but yeah, I'm sure over time there might be some new stuff coming up. But
indeed.
indeed. But yeah, I think
Indeed.
we could start to wrap up
Oh,
then. Yeah, go
sorry.
on.
There's one
Sorry.
more game to mention. Sorry. Street Fighter 6.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
coming out
Oh,
next
okay.
year.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of gameplay, and they had a Guile reveal, and they had a new look, Ryu and Chun Li. This is the first Street Fighter in a very long time to actually move forward in the timeline of the Street Fighter game. So this takes place after the events of Street Fighter Alpha 3, which is the newest, which was the newest in the timeline. Um, so this is the first one to actually be in the modern day. We've had 23 years of an updated Street Fighter 6 that has not been in the modern day. It looks really, really good. From the looks of it, the graphics look amazing. They've got a new mechanics in the game, which is going to propel the game forward into more user-friendly combos and defense mechanics. They've got a simple combo system for those that are new to the series. So they've got one button for combos and one button for special moves, which is a really easy way of playing the game. Or if you're an elitist like me, has been playing since it first initially started way back in 1989 on the Super Nintendo, or my first fighting game was Street Fighter 2. You can customize your controls to how you see fit and go back to the old school controls. So there's something for everyone, and I actually am really, really looking forward to playing as Ryu and Chun Li and the new characters that are in it. who actually one of them made an appearance in Street Fighter 5 as a DLC character, sort of showing his origins and how he got started. But no, the character design is really, really good. The roster was leaked online, so they don't know who's going to be DLC and who's not. But there's going to be some fan favorites in there. I would go into spoilers about it, but I might save it for another time. There's something they did to the Ryu and Ken rivalry. Ken is not the same guy in Street Fighter 6 as he was in the previous um, iterations of Street Fighter. So he's gone through some changes for the bad. So there's a rumor that there might be Violent Ken as DLC, which is basically equivalent to Akuma and Evil Ryu, because now Evil Ryu is no more. Evil Ryu is gone. Evil Ryu has been dealt with because Ryu has the power of nothingness, which is one of his powers. He has he has one of his. It's basically like Ultra Instinct. If you follow Dragon Ball Z, he basically has Ultra Instinct. So yeah, it's really, 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 really good. The game looks exceptionally good. And as there isn't many fighting games these days that it's worth getting excited about. I've been following obviously the development of Street Fighter 6 for some time. I played Street Fighter 5 off stream. I did play it on stream for my unbeaten run, and I lost, so I couldn't stream anymore as unbeaten. So I didn't stream anymore. But it's exceptionally good game. And yeah, I'm looking forward to how improved the number 6 is. It's coming out next year. The rumor is it's going to be around about April or June as the expected release window for Street Fighter 6. So hopefully that'll come out, and you'll hear my opinions on the Bits and Pieces podcast when it drops. Hopefully.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I'm done. I can shut up now.
Yeah. So that is that for them. Pretty much us done now for today for this episode of the Bits and Pieces podcast. Obviously, before we go, we normally like to end on a Beth's joke of the week.
Beth's joke of the week.
Beth's
joke of the week. Week joke. Okay. So if you're new here, I don't know how this became a segment, but it has, and it's not going anywhere. Basically, I tell a joke every week just to build my repertoire to become a stand-up comedian. So that's I have this really silly, really stupid joke book that I do not take the jokes from. I do. These are all my own original jokes. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna open the book to a random page. I'm not gonna count how many there are.
Silence.
I'm not gonna ask Mr. Freedy to pick a number between 1 and 15.
12.
Okay, Freedy did not say 12. I will not be picking 12. Okay. I will not be reading this joke. This is my original joke. Here we go. What did the dragon say when he saw Saint George in his shining armor? Oh no, not more tinned food.
God.
Oh God. Oh. Are you sure you want to claim that as your own? No. That was actually.
So I read that from my really silly joke book.
I like your yeah. Call him back.
Opt out. It wasn't me.
It was not my original joke.
So we're what did we say? So that's 3 tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can I read the dad joke? I've got a dad joke here.
Oh, okay. Go on, Freddie.
I'm going to throw one in just because I like throwing my dad jokes about.
Okay.
And there's nothing to do with competing with Beth whatsoever. I just like dad jokes. Right. So the dad joke I have, I use this generator online, which gives me a joke, random joke. Now this joke is, I was wondering why the baseball was getting bigger. Then it hit me.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh
god.
That's 10 tumbleweeds.
I'm not slow clapping.
I am not shaking my head.
That is the dad joke generator online. So that's it generates quite a few of them.
Oh wow.
Oh,
All right.
Let me just do this one more. Let me just throw this one more in because it's going to make your eyes roll, which is what I'm going for. It
I
says
mean, okay.
a backwards poet writes in verse.
Hmm. All right.
All right. Okay. I guess
I'm
9.5 tumbleweeds. Right.
I'm going to lay down.
Okay,
Goodbye.
you go. Before you lay down, Beth, we're just
I
going to
need to
finish
rest
off
now.
with some
Yeah.
any socials. Are you going to be streaming anytime soon? Over the next couple of days or so, before next week's podcast, Beth?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm a little busy at the moment now.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't guarantee I will stream.
You're
but
trying.
I will try my best.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yes.
And Freddie, are you going to be giving us any content over the next couple of days?
Yeah. Maybe sometime in the morning. Maybe sometime in the evening. Oh, maybe
not at
No,
all.
I'm gonna be streaming. Hopefully as many days as possible because I want to finish Quarry. So I'll probably try and stream tomorrow. Be random times. I don't know when. Whenever my other half goes out. But I will be streaming on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at 9:00 onwards. At www.twitch.tv/TheFreedyShow. Come and say hello, hang out. Still haven't got to my 200 followers, which is a really sad face about because I've got 3 games to give away now, and I can't do that until I've got the 200 follower goal. If I do it, 194 goal. Where we go?
Come on, guys.
Doesn't quite work, does it? So I need to get 200, otherwise I'm going to go.
You guys don't want a free game.
I'll just end up just giving it away on Twitter or something. We can't bother. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing more games. I'll probably throw some co-op stuff in there with Jelly and Sneak as well next week. I think World War Z will return next Thursday. So Tuesday will be the Quarry. Thursday will be World War Z. Friday will probably be Phasmophobia or something or other co-op stuff that we might get around to playing. And yeah, we'll move. I'll move forward with the plan is to stream as much as possible, just to see if anyone comes in says hello. I'm very lonely on Twitch. Please come in and say hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. And as for me, I will be you can find me over on twitch.tv/FunnybitsBoi. FunnybitsBoi. Yeah, I will be I will try and get back onto I keep saying it every week and I've not managed to do so just because of life gets in the way of things, and unfortunately I've not been able to stream as much as I'd like to, and I'd really want to get back into work. Sucks, I know. she left me roses by the stairs, and yeah.
Steve, the joke segment is over. The joke segment is over.
Let me get my small violin out.
15. You get 20 tumbleweeds.
20 tumbleweeds.
Oh wow, that's a bad storm.
That's so generous.
So yeah, I will try. I'm trying to get back into streaming, but I'm going to do some Phasmo tomorrow. I will actually stream some Phasmo. So if anyone's about tomorrow, about 3 o'clock,
I'll try and be on.
I will stream for a couple of hours before I have to go to bed to wake up early.
Baby bye, Mr.
But yeah,
Mr. Steve, let's go, Betty. Bye.
and I have to do it there, yes. So yeah, you can follow me at twitch.tv/FunnybitsBoi, or over you can also follow Beth at twitch.tv twitch.tv/PizzaBeth, or twitch.tv/FreedyShow, or you can find all of us over on Twitter at FunnybitsBoi, or at TheFreedyShow, or at PizzaBeth1, and that is us.
Or on
done.
TikTok.
Or on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Same
have
names. Same
TikTok,
names.
but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, same
haven't
names.
posted anything on there. But you
Yeah.
can still follow me on
Follow.
TikTok.
Stalk Beth on TikTok.
Don't stalk me.
Stalker.
I will.
It's all right. You get stalked by bots. So I've got like 50 bot
I'll
followers.
stalk you back
Oh, yeah.
if you stalk me. Actually, no, that's not. I'll
No.
refrain from saying that.
Is that a promise?
No.
Well, that's us done then for this week. Thank you very much for everybody who joined us. I'll probably let the cameras roll. We might be doing something straight after. I'm not sure. But if we don't do anything, then I'll just end the stream here and now. As soon as we say goodbye. So that's it. End of episode 32. Come and join us again next Saturday. Like I said, on twitch.tv/. FunnybitsBoi, or you could join or you could find the podcast, I should say, over on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, Now Music. I think that's also on there. Who else we got? Anywhere that does an RSS feed. Yeah. There we go.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Got distracted. You was distracted.
I was thinking about Easter eggs again. No.
Easter eggs, no, don't go down that road, please. God damn. But yeah, we're gonna carry on streaming something. We might even do the after show, the funny bits, the funny bits, the bits and pieces podcast after show, or gaming of some sort. Otherwise, we might just end. Stick around, find out.
I don't want to end. End the show. I don't want to end.
No, we're gonna end. We're in the show.
No, I don't have anywhere to go.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. We'll wait here for you.
We'll wait. We're still here. Oh. Okay. Thanks very much, guys. Thank you to the two.
Thank you, Mr. Steve.
Thank you, for having us, Mr. Steve.
It was a pleasure.
Pleasure.
A
Jinx,
pleasure.
no returns.
Oh no.
You need to update my logo on the bits and pieces picture.
I need to do that. I will change that. I need to try and get...
I hate that now. I was like, look how bad that is. I know my one's not, the new one's not brilliant, but I just think it's a bit more pizzazz than the me face, which is like,
yeah.
It's also copyrighted, so I really shouldn't use it. It's a bit emoji, isn't it? So it's it's not exactly all my emotes are all bit emoji as well. I've got to change it.
Is it really
lazy? I just edited them and cut them out and coloured in stuff. So I modified them.
I will be back in time for. Are we going to do a game or just we're going to go?
I'm up for some games or talking or whatever. I don't mind.
We could talk during the gaming.
Or we're getting killed by ghosts, and that's probably best. What do you want to? What do you want to do, Beth?
I do have a bit of a stomach ache, so I was gonna.
You're gonna back out. Okay.
I'm gonna back out. But I'll watch the stream and.
Hashtag disappointed.
What's that meme? I can't remember. Never mind. I was gonna say a meme, but I can't remember the meme.
It's all right. It's all right, Beth. You can go and get some rest. It's fine.
Thank you. Bar luck. Well, I'll be in the chat and I'll be in there to annoy you guys.
Cool. Yay.
But yeah, that was fun. That was a good show.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a drink and then I'll be back.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What do you? Well, we'll decide when you get back. I'm gonna get a drink as well.
Okay.
I think.
Right. So
I'll see you guys soon.
Yes, Beth. Yes, it's been fun. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Oh, good night, Jelly.
Thanks.
Good night, Jelly. Thanks
Night,
for
Jelly.
watching, mate. Trying to make us laugh in the podcast as he always does.
I know. It's like I'm trying never to read chat.
That's why I don't read chat anymore, because I ended up bursting out laughing. Fucking Jelly's just awesome at telling jokes. Even Alex was on some winners there. I was like, no, can't watch it. Can't read it. Right, I'm gonna get a drink. I'm really thirsty tonight. It's so hot. It's so hot, and you've got all the windows open. But my
I know.
fan's
I'm actually.
upstairs.
See, now I can read that. You realise Beth will be watching you guys whilst on the loo. Oh my days.
Does that count as stalking?
She's left. Yeah, she's left chat. She can't respond.
Oh, that was really funny. That's some really funny. Very, very serious and also very funny at the same time. A good combination of fun, of humor and serious.
That's what you want. Isn't that the whole point? That's what you want.
Yeah.
Right.
The whole point. Right. I'll be back. I'm gonna get a drink and I'll be back.
I'm just gonna play some music whilst we are chatting. Be right back. Screen is on. Right, let's turn that down a little bit. Just wait for Fred to come back, and then maybe we'll do some gaming.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm back.
And he's back, is there?
I need my camera on now.
Nah.
The only thing I thought of that might be a fun thing to do is when we play, not tonight, because it takes some setting up, but next time we play horror games, is to have our live feeds in each corner of the screen. So we got So have you, me, and whoever else we're playing with. So when we get jump scared, our audiences can see our reactions.
Oh, that's an idea. We'll do it as a we could. That's not a bad little thing. We'll just do it over Discord. We'll just put the cameras on.
Yep. And then you just just drag the camera window.
Yeah.
Like you would a normal thing. I reckon that'd be a fun thing to do. Then you get like both our perspectives when something happens. So we see us laughing at each other as well.
I'm up for that. Yeah, definitely.
We'll definitely do that because I think I don't see a lot of people doing that, like streamers wise, when they come up. So I think that might be a good idea. Something unique for us to do moving forward. Like I want to try and think of ways to drive audience to us. That's what I've been thinking of, like scratching my brains. We're gonna play some Phasmo. Yeah,
let's play some. Yeah, I'm gonna load it up right now.
Yeah. That's because I want to get back into it because I haven't played it for ages.
So whilst that's loading up, I'll just have a bit of music playing in the background, and then when you're ready, I'll turn it off.
It don't take long. You gonna send me the code? I can just stream, can't I? What am I doing?
Yeah.
That's a good thing about not streaming is my computer doesn't freak out when playing stuff. That's the one thing I don't like about my computer right now. When I streamed yesterday, it kept like flickering and screen changing. So OBS kept going over to the left and then the right, then the left and the right, and then it crashed and then it shrunk down. Then it went up top, and then the game went like super small. It drove me mad. So it's like I definitely need to put some more memory in this thing. Thing is, I've got 16 gigabyte of DDR3 RAM upstairs, but this is DDR4. Now the only thing I have an issue with is if I put the DDR3 in this as well, will that not add together? It'll be separate. I don't know whether it'll add it or not.
Yeah.
I'm a bit apprehensive to put it into the motherboard in case it fries it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm worried about. I might I want to try it. I might try it with one stick and see what happens.
Let's move that. I haven't done this before. This is the first time I've streamed. And I enlarged my camera a little bit. I've added it in Discord, the code.
Oh, okay.
I don't know whether I need to shrink the screen down. I think I might do.
Where's John gone? John normally plays this with us at this time of night. Where's John gone? He was in chat earlier. I saw him.
Right. So, we'll avoid some of the... Asylum hasn't been updated. Anyway, it's still called Asylum, and it will be called Sunny Meadows when it's finally out. So we know that's not changed. Everywhere else, though, is basically the same as it was before. I will avoid Maple Lodge. I will avoid Asylum. I'll just keep to the small maps for the duration.
Small maps are best when it's us two.
Yeah. When
it's the three of us, we can do the medium maps. But when it's just two of us, the medium maps, I think, are a bit of a stretch.
Okay.
That's just... I don't mind playing the medium maps, obviously. I'm just saying that it would take longer. Of
course, yeah, absolutely.
And as soon as one of us... As soon as you die, I'll leave anyway. So, yeah, I'm not staying around. Bye. Ooh, this is better. Jesus Christ, you're like a giant. You was like stuck to the ceiling.
I was, yeah. The way I spawned in, I was almost T-posing. Oh no! There's a few things I haven't bought.
Do you know what this? I added stuff. Obviously, I didn't have enough stuff to add. I'm obviously because I died. I lost all my shit last time I played this.
Yes.
I didn't replace it. I didn't replace any of it. This is much better. Whoever thought of this, bravo.
Bravo. Oh, wait a minute. What's happened? My game's crashed. My game just died.